right, so we are actually already live here today with Moldemar and Myriad in, I don't know, on the channel. So, today I'm joined here by Mr. Shuki, the Shuki. What can you tell me about these two Chads?
Hello, everybody. Hello, women. I mean, Voldemort and Mirror, I guess, these guys know each other pretty well, right? I think they've been practice partners for a while. And obviously they've met each other at lands and at events in the past. So I imagine it should be a good series because I guess they maybe know what to expect from each other, but that's also when you can try to throw your opponents off and start new stuff, probably.
Yeah, no, and as I'm going to the split screen, I can see that this poor computer is struggling. It is like, hey, girl, that is an overload for me, poor guy. Now, that is why we test things, hell yeah. Now, Voldemort already starting it off pretty well here on Dry Arabia. As we know, Dry Arabia, oh, not Dry Arabia, we're on Bald Land. Shuki, Bald Land, small golds. Do you have any strong opinions? Because we've been having a lot of players with a lot of opinions on this recently.
Is this Baldland? No, that's Carmel, right?
It's Carmel! Okay, that's embarrassing.
Okay.
Same.
I mean, so I guess, Carmel is a map that has like loads of food, which is probably its main feature, right? We see like all the deer, we see double boar on both sides. So usually a map that's pretty heavy into Pro Scout, but even if you get Pro Scout, you still need to go out of the base pretty soon because there's actually only tiny little golds in your base, and so one of the main features of this map, I guess, is that big gold vein in the middle that is really important to control.
Now, getting onto the big gold, we actually saw yesterday when I was casting with my Oasis, we were on Carmel as well, and I realized that the gold veins barely last you into castle, and the next one is quite far away, and it is usually under siege pretty quickly. So the aggressive playstyle definitely has been rearing its head quite heavily onto this map. So I'm really excited to see if we're actually going to see any variation, because obviously we'll see some professional scouts, but with horsemen being able to shut down pro scouts, that's where my question lies. What is going to be the response to make sure that your opponent doesn't get as many deer as you? Because both of these civilizations, they are quite happy with going pro scouts, and Zushi has started it off already. Voldemort will be starting off soon, as we can see him macroing towards it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what these players are gonna go for. I guess you can kind of decide to get your own deer and let your opponent have his own and kind of play an equal game, and maybe try to get to castle pretty fast. But as you said, you can also try and be aggressive and try and deny deer. But yeah, obviously both of these civilizations are pretty similar in a way. Zushi being the variant. So I think it's kind of hard to get you don't really have like a inherent advantage. I think in the early game, I would guess Sushi is a bit faster, but yeah, that's probably quite minimal.
So we can see Myriad knowing that his opponent is definitely doing exactly the same thing as him. He is making horsemen now, and Voldemort responding with a barracks instead. Now, the barracks is probably a pretty amazing response to getting you off of the deer packs, because as you can imagine, a spearman matches pretty well against this and will shut down any pro scouting. However, the versatility and mobility that Myriad will have will probably show a bit of an advantage, especially because now he can quickly switch to Jugunu. Now, with Voldemort still being in the original Tang Dynasty, he's going to take a while to get to that Song fast villager production that we usually see here from China. But we'll see who gets the most deer. It does look like all the deer being pre-killed here did slow it down a little bit, but now these spearmen are rallied across the map, and it doesn't look like Voldemort's keeping track of this bad boy, and he does take a few extra pokes, but that horseman is on thin ice.
Yeah, it looks like both players are gonna fight it out for Feudal in a bit. I don't really expect them to stay in Feudal for too long, but yeah, you definitely gotta respect your opponent making units, or because as we said, this map has so much food, and if you get cut off of food, you're gonna be in a very bad position.
Luckily, the food is raining down at home, and we can see these scouts delivering at the speed of light. We've got some horsemen over here trying to deny the deer pack too. Spearmen running behind slowly, following, trying to shut this down, but this just means the horsemen can go and find another target. Now with these Jugunu, they were able to push off a little bit of those spearmen, but this does mean that Myriad needs to split his APM and his attention, and it can get a little bit dangerous. Now, Jugunu focusing down a scout of Valdemar, horseman feeling very confident, but not overextending at all, because Valdemar, he knows how to control his horses.
Yeah, and as we can see, Myriad is already pretty much ready to click castle, and so he greeted out quite a bit. So we'll have to see what Valdemar. I expect Valdemar to follow pretty quick, but as we can see, Valdemar made all units, right? He has horsemen, he has spears, he has one archer, I guess, but he still has it. And Myriad decided to be a bit more greedy, only a horseman or two and some Zugunu. So now I imagine they're gonna start with the knight spam. That would be my guess.
Yeah, we've seen Zushi knights coming in many games, and it is a clown fiesta once those things collapse on top of your army. But Valdemar does have the spear numbers to survive this for a little while. We can see the spearmen trying to get under the TC. Only 500 gold left on this vein, so it will start to get harder and harder to keep him in a good position, I'd say. But let's see how many of those lances get clicked instantly. First one coming in hot. Now we can see scouts starting to get shut down here, especially by this mass. But Valdemar is not going to be far behind. He's about to click up castle himself, and most likely going to be making some lances of his own.
Yeah, it's Valdemar is he has pretty good pressure around Myriad space right now. But so obviously those first couple lances are gonna be key for Myriad to try and regain map control. As you know, as we know, Zushi has a special upgrade for the horsey boys, which allows them to get extra attack speed. So if they both go into night spam, in theory that should be better for Zushi. So I guess China is usually the one that has to fold and start making something else, probably crossbows or whatever. But yeah, we'll have to see what Myriad can do now. It looks like he's pushing Valdemar away, so he should be able to get the rest of his deer now.
Now we'll see some relics being picked up pretty soon as well, I imagine, because these guys know how quickly this is going to be critical. But Valdemar, he is just making crossbows now. He realizes, hey, I'm going to struggle with these bad boys. And Myriad knows I need to go for the raid. Now, I'm actually pretty happy to see that this meditation garden is bringing in a little bit of income, because for Zushi, that is such a big boost to just have into your economy. Now, we do see a few more deer here on the map, so food is still very fruitful on the map. We still have a few deer packs as well, but Myriad is now trying to find some damage. The thing is just, these guys are quite far away from base, and these boys are nothing to ignore.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, it's interesting that Valdemar decided to not go for knights at all, and he's queued one. So I guess you do need a couple, right? Because they're just so good for that map control, as you said, so that they can fight for the relics. And yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how the Zushi meta has kind of evolved lately. You know, they used to go for the I can't remember the name of the landmark, the one that produced the Shaolin monks, right? And that allowed you to get the relics pretty quick. But lately, players have kind of switched to, I think, Mount Lu Academy, it's called, I'm not sure, which has a bunch of unique upgrades. Specifically one that allows you to supervise your buildings way faster. And yeah, lately the players have been going with that, and Myriad, that's the landmark he's chosen.
Now, we still don't see Song Dynasty coming from Valdemar, and that is something that we don't usually see out of China so quickly, because they love to get ahead economically with this. But Valdemar realizes every little bit of resource that I have to pump back in to this. Now, with this mobility, you can see Myriad is definitely controlling a little bit what Valdemar can and can't do. And we'll see if he starts to make a play for another place to go to, because now with the gold vein, he's on a second gold vein. Valdemar should follow suit pretty soon. As we can see, this gold is getting a little bit barren, but he's still got the spearman numbers, and these spearmen, we can now see 20 of them, is going to make this a lot harder to handle.
Yeah, he's taking a bit of a page from the book of the Canadian brothers who swear by their spearmen. And yeah, he's got 17 of them, and 4 more in queue, as we see a couple one go down right now. But yeah, Voldemort has one relic going home already. He has 3 monks on the field. So it looks like he's a bit faster right now, playing the relic game.
Voldemort is someone who's very focused on objectives very quickly, and that is definitely showing in this case. Because if you're looking at something like getting ahead in a Zushi-China matchup, you want to make sure that you have enough in your bank. And just getting ahead slowly, definitely something that Voldemort should be able to do pretty well. You see that these lances are getting quite low, and this is going to be a very expensive lesson for Myriad if he decides to overcommit here.
Yeah, definitely. But Beard is spamming Zugunu, and those Zugunus are gonna do quite well into what Valdemar is doing, which is basically spears crossbow, and Zugunu are gonna be really good against both of these. So yeah, I think Valdemar has to be a bit careful not to get caught against too many Zugunu here. And we see that he's starting to make Nesta bees. You know, we love those Nesta bees, a main fixture of the Chinese civilizations. So that should help, but yeah, they're pretty slow. So for now, he's not gonna really be able to walk out of his base with it, I think.
Now the relic does disappear from the map, and it looks like Myriad has his eyes locked in on this. So gonna go and try to shut it down, but it will take a while. Oh, never mind. The boys will connect with them pretty quickly. And it looks like this scary army from Voldemort is giving him the confidence to move out onto the middle of the map. Now, like you said, he's got those Nest of Bees. This is going to mean that he's going to be pretty confident on a defensive position, but it's going to see if he's going to get that chance. He does have 1 Nest of Bees in the base, and the Lancers Duckley do not know about it. Otherwise, Nest of Bees would be completely cooked. But Villager Idle Time, definitely a big plus point here from Myriad. And there's more boys coming in. They look like they just want to get some deer, though.
Yeah, and Myriad really using his knights well and using his mobility advantage here, taking advantage of the fact that Valdemar is kind of busy in the middle of the map right now and getting some good raids in. And Myriad has already 2 relics home, while Valdemar only has 1. And I think there is, because I think there's a bug with Zushi you don't see all of the relics. But oh no, okay, he actually managed. Valdemar was trying to steal Myriad's relic there, but I guess that relic is not gonna come home.
That one almost got successfully yoinked, but luckily the Lancer is here to support. Now, it does look like he goes through the gold as quickly... Oh my goodness, that's so fast. But it does seem like this... This is crazy. I didn't even imagine that it would already be done. And these guys as well, just snacking away. Oh my goodness. And it looks like the Lancers will be taking a beating from that... beautiful Nest of Bees, but the kiting from Myriad is looking solid. Village is now a little bit overextended here, and the Lancers have their eyes set on them already. It looks like Myriad is pulling ahead with villagers, and that Jugunu micro is going to be critical here. They slowly move backwards. There's a lot of spearmen, so the Lancers do need to be careful.
Yeah, this is going to be a very key engagement here, as I think the one that comes out successful is going to get control of that middle gold, and yeah, as you said, those small golds, they run out so fast. So if you can get access to that middle gold, it puts you in a really good position for the rest of the game. And it looks like Valdemar is getting the best on the engagement.
Now, Valdemar, initially it looked like he might have had the opportunity to lose it in that moment, but it definitely went his way. Myriad maybe just forced to overextend a little bit. He probably had this idea that it would be simple enough if he gets onto the Nest of Bees, but these crossbowmen did work. And now Voldemort is just forcing mistakes. And, ooh, I was going to say, no, Voldemort will not allow anything like this, but we do have the scouts knowing what's cooking, but the villagers do need to run. And it looks like Myriad, now with no gold access for now, is going to be struggling. He still has a small one here at the back, but that's limited.
Yeah, and that he had that relic in control, and the monk is dead now, so I'm not sure if he's gonna manage to bring it home. Obviously, relics are super important on this map, considering the limited amount of gold. But yeah, this is looking to be a pretty good position for Valdemar right now. And yeah, Myriad is gonna have to make something happen, and I'm not exactly sure what his plan is going to be.
It doesn't look like there's anything that he has in his arsenal right now that can take out what Myriad has what Voldemort has in front of his base. This is a very scary army to play against, and he is still getting more and more crossbows. With the amount of Jugunu that we see, he definitely feels okay, but when you get to this amount of crossbowmen and horsemen, you usually do not mind just a little handful. And we do see the lancers going to run around and try to clean up those horsemen, but villagers are in danger. A little bit far forward with the wood, and that's just the only spot they have right now. Imperial official also getting taken down. Pretty big pickup here for Voldemort.
Yeah, and those Imperial officials hurt, especially Azushi, right? Because you don't have the landmark that can make them, and so yeah, it's pretty good eco damage, and Voldemort is looking to dive the DC and be really aggressive right now. I think he's smelling blood and thinking maybe he can close this out actually.
It does look like he is in a very healthy spot to do something like this, especially the food is starting to get to a point of like, hey, we might be thinking about starving, but at the same time, I think the bigger problems are going to be around that gold and the wood right now, because now the forward wood line is what he's got. He's got a tiny one here at the back, but with all the pings going on, Voldemort is just overwhelming Myriad and struggling to stay on top. Spearman doing amazing work at actually taking down these stray little villagers, and it does look like Myriad is a little bit cooked here under the TC.
Yeah, this is looking kind of rough with a 57 population versus 100, and yeah, he's just sitting under his TC, causing havoc. I think Myriad is not too long for this world, to be honest.
It does look like Myriad is a little bit cooked, but Myriad's holding on. He says, let my TC fire, let them rain down. I've got my IO, I'm getting the gold. Problem is just getting something that will take down this army, and he realizes, not today. Myriad... Oh, and I just realized I forgot to unhide the UI like an animal. It's okay. Oh, never mind. It's fine. We're back. Okay, so... With this, I honestly thought that Myriad was in a pretty good spot at a point, but it just looked like Voldemort was able to control his army absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, it got pretty hectic there in the mid game when they were fighting for relics. There was really action all over the map, and yeah, this map is super open, so it's really hard to keep track of everything. And I guess Voldemort just played it slightly better, and he managed to snowball that advantage.
Oh, definitely. I'm actually excited to see what Voldemort is going to be doing. Oh gosh, it's so difficult when it's Myriad and Voldemort. It's just hard to remember how to say names. All right, now guys, you can see Shuki's beautiful face has not joined us here today. He is simply living in a world of anonymity, and how do I say that word? Anonymity?
Anonymousism?
Anonymity. Close enough. Close enough. Yeah, no,
Yeah, that was close.
We will see Voldemort and Myriad trying it out onto the next map. We have Rus versus Lancaster. Two civilizations that I think a lot of people are saying are pretty good at the moment. So, Shuki, let's hop on in and see what they're cooking.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in the north, in the color yellow, we have VES Voldemort playing the Rus.
Oh my gosh, you put on the ASMR voice. Very nice.
And in the south, in the color red, MTE Myriad with his new team from Hungary, which is going to be playing the House of Lancaster.
Now, with the House of Lancaster, we've seen some shenanigans, but Dark Age shenanigans have become slightly more popular as time went on. Now, with this, I'm a little bit worried to see what he's actually going to be punishing, but I don't think this is going to be a punishing kind of opening. This is most likely just going to be a deer pushing kind of opening. Because when you open up with a spearman against the Rus, you're probably going to struggle actually doing any damage. As we can see here, these hunting cabins are mostly safe. This one would be able to be torched down, but also going to be taking a while in this scenario.
I think they're just out of TC range now. I think if he wants, he can torch them. At least one of them. That one is, yeah, that one isn't, but the other, yeah, the other
Yeah,
one
the
is
other one.
torchable.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure, but indeed, as you said, I think
Mhm.
probably more worth it for him to try and get the deer. And indeed, it seems like that's what he's going for. Even though he does have one spear going on the other side of the map.
We'll see what the man is cooking today, because he is going straight for his opponent's deer. Now, this can be to either push or just kill him, and that's exactly what he does. He goes and he shift clicks onto that. And I think that is most likely where we start to ask ourselves, are we playing Rus from 3 years ago? Because now we're just spending our time killing wild animals. No more pushing for them. Shuki, did you play when that was happening?
Yeah, of course, of course. I've been playing since release. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really mind, doing the deer minigame when it was a thing. I felt kind of more scammed by the fact that I had to make a scout from my TC while the Roos could make it from their hunting cabin, and I kind of felt scammed that I was one villager behind from the early game, and even worse, since I'm a bit of a Mongol spammer. So at the time I was playing Mongol, and with Mongol you already start with one villager less. So if you wanted to make a second scout, you actually started the game 2 villages down, which felt kind of rough, to be honest. I did not really enjoy that matchup.
Yeah, no, I can see why the concerns are there, because I remember opening with that second scout, but usually if you open with a second scout, you feel good about it, because you're like, okay, I'm going to get a lot of sheep. But because Rus was able to do that without any concerns, it did feel a little bit different. Now, we do see these spearmen trying to push the deer around this wood line, and honestly, I am not a very good deer pusher, I'll be honest. But this...
That doesn't surprise me.
But this looks like a hard level, at least. With 3 spearmen, it does make it a little bit easier. But we do have these deer packs that will be ripe for the taking. And as we're doing this, I realize that Mr. Lancaster, finally aging up, is going to be able to secure the stone as well. Which, my question then, what now? Are we going to get a lot of stone? 3 manors? Or is there going to be more than 3 coming out? I feel like against Rus, that might be a little bit risky.
I'm not exactly. I mean, I guess the standard Lancaster play has become that 6 manors into fast castle. Usually, I guess is kind of become the standard play. Even though we've seen like plenty of other ways to play Lancaster. So I'm not exactly sure what Mirror is gonna do, but I would imagine 6 mana into fast castle should be decent. To be honest, I don't exactly know how this matchup is supposed to be played, because Rus was permanently banned for the past 2 months or whatever.
Yes.
So we actually haven't seen much of Rus gameplay at the pro level. And Rus, they love to go for that fast castle into horse archers, and Lancaster having those absolutely disgusting yeomans. I imagine it's kind of like English. You don't really want to be spamming. You don't really want to be spamming horse archers into Lancaster. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what Valdemar is gonna do. I think he's gonna need to respect the spear a little bit just to get his pro scout going. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, with the Pro Scout, he's finally clicking it up, and we can see the Pro Scout is starting to upgrade, but he's already lost the Scout to this deer interruption that he did. But to be fair, he did deny some deer, so probably will be paying off. But now these spears need to get in position to be denying the deer on the rest of the map. Now the question is just, are we going to be seeing some action over here onto the small deer packs, or is it all going to be about who is close to our base? Now, this looks like the pretty standard Rus play that we've been seeing even previous season, because I was gonna say because he's getting his tower here and it makes the wood line safe, but no, he's going for an archery range. Valdemar is set on it.
Yeah, this is kind of what I said. I think he has to respect the spears, right? Because he will be playing for those deer on the left, and right now with only 3 spears on the battlefield. Mirad could just deny them super easily. So I think Valdemar kind of has to make a bit of units just to be able to secure it.
Yeah, when you start to make archers, it definitely slows down the plan, because for him, selling wood is going to be key in getting that fast castle. But honestly, he doesn't have any food. So this most likely is going to be way more important. He does have enough scouts to support him here as well. We see the first archer coming out, and now a stable as well. So if we do see some knights along the way, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, the stable is a bit surprising. I think usually those rules players, they kind of like to only make the least amount of unit possible to get to castle with being able to secure the deer. And it looks like he's gonna be looking to put some pressure. So I don't know if he's gonna be heavy pressure or just a couple knights just to be annoying. We'll have to see, because it is pretty hard to put pressure on the Lancaster. They have such good defense, right?
Yeah, they do. That makes the game a little bit harder to actually break, because you have this Lancaster castle that is protecting the stone and the gold. But you were... I was asking about the whole, what is he going to go for? And it does look like he is overmining a little bit on the stone, which indicates he's going to be going for a few extra manors.
Yeah, that 6 mana play seems really strong right now. So I imagine that's what Myriad is going to go for.
And he does... Balmor is able to finally catch up with the spears as well, so a few of these will go down. But Myriad hasn't made anything yet, but now Hobblar is coming out. And
ooh, those Hobblars.
What is your feeling about the unit until now? Because Hobblars, a lot of people haven't really figured out where they go in the meta. And I'm one of them, so what do you think about the Hobblars?
So I guess, when Lancaster first came out, people kind of looked at Hobblars and were like, what is this meme unit? Like, they're so bad. But they've definitely been gaining a bit of traction lately. And I mean, as you know, I don't play that much 1v1 right now. I'm more of a team game enjoyer. And in team games, the mass Hobbler play has become actually pretty common, because they're so easy to spam, they're so fast, so cheap. So personally, I think they're actually pretty good, especially when they get that special upgrade that gives them extra damage.
Now, you say cheap, and yes, cheaper than a horseman, but the gold cost is usually where people are divided. Because gold is usually a pretty important resource, especially at this early stage of the game, where it is a little bit harder to obtain. But when you're a Lancaster, I can definitely see that not being a concern, especially when you've got the castle on your gold. Now, we can see that Voldemar is trying to find a way to break through here. And at the same time, he's on gold, which is something we haven't seen from Rus in many seasons. So, actually excited to see what Rus on gold looks like, but we're already seeing what he's cooking. And he's cooking a siege engineering.
Yeah, so Valdemar is not gonna be doing any kind of a castle shenanigans. He's gonna go for it and try to ram push the Lancaster. Which is not gonna be too easy, because as we know, the Lancaster, they have that O snap button that allows them to kind of get units out of thin air from the Lancaster castle. So I think now that he's got 6 manas on, he's gonna be looking to press that button pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's a pretty strong button to press even at this point of the game. Now, Hobblars are not a unit you usually want to send out into battle right here. We can see it, they have 0 melee armor. This is something you want to be using against archers, and that is exactly what he's doing. Trying to get those reinforcements and pick them off. Now, Voldemar is getting to a point where the numbers are looking quite scary, and it does look like he will be able to deny some gold here from Myriad and get a few victims along the way.
A bit slow to react there, and he loses a villager for it. He's got a bit of Hobblars in the middle of the map there and getting reinforcements.
Yeah.
And the military numbers are not looking that good for Voldemar. I mean, they're pretty equal, but considering Myriad is investing in all those manors, being equal in military numbers is not that great. And yeah, this is looking like a very good engagement from Myriad.
It is definitely looking great for him, because what he's doing here is he got all of those archers because of the Hobblar's ability to just, break through archers, and they might be squishy, but not when you don't have a lot of melee units. And Voldemar had a lot of archers in this. The knights were just completely pushed back by all these spears from Myriad. Myriad's composition looking pretty scary. He does make a kebab out of that horse, unfortunately. And spearman against spearman action coming in hot now. Hobblar's taking a lot of damage from that charge, but they've got their eyes on the prize. They're going straight for the archers.
Yeah, Valdemar going with a 1-1-1 composition again, kind of like last game. He seems to enjoy it quite well, and indeed, it's really annoying because as we see, it's kind of turning the tide of the battle now because Myriad doesn't have anything to kill the spearmen.
Now, Myriad all of a sudden losing most of his army, and you can see with the amount of resources he's banking, he's actually thinking about castle right now, but the problem is, he is starving on the gold side. Now, he will have enough, and we'll see what the choice is here, but the problem is, he's got just enough, but does he have anything to make after that? Does he have enough gold to get any upgrades? The villagers fire back, though. They are not gonna let go of this gold too easily. King's College, though.
Yeah, I forgot about those short bows. They're pretty good on defense. But yeah, as you said, Myriad going castle now. The macro kind of slipped away. It was there was a lot of action on the map, and he's got a bit too much wood there, a bit too much food. But yeah, he's getting castle, and Valdemar is gonna try again. I think Myriad is gonna be looking to press the O snap button, but but I don't see it yet. It's pretty expensive on the gold, so he's been, you know, Valdemar has done a pretty good job of denying that gold. So I imagine that's the main reason why we haven't seen those demi lancers come out yet. But yeah, this is a bit of a tricky situation for Myriad, but getting castle, he should be able to be in a good position now. And with all that wood that he's floating, he can actually start making those disgusting yeomans.
And it does look like he is going to hit that castle without being able to get any big upgrades. He does get +1. And this is going to make sure that those manors hit extra hard. But we can see he's looking for gold. He's getting the boys to go back to the front. But this is so scary. He's just hoping to get that little bit because these upgrades are now a little bit cheaper. They're just not that cheap yet. Now the spearmen getting a pretty good engage while the archers are engaged in building a ram. Now, he does need to be careful. These numbers matter so much. The knights are trying to become kebabs pretty quickly. But Valdemar behind this, it looks like just getting more military upgrades and making sure that he can destroy here. These manors are starting to do a little bit more damage. But again, these are armored units. Knights don't mind too much.
Yeah, this is a pretty strong push from Valdemar, and he has no intention of going castle anytime soon, it looks. He's just gonna go pedal to the, what do you say? Pedal to the metal?
Pedal to the...
I don't remember. What is this saying?
No. You're asking the non-native speaker here.
Damn it. Maybe chat's gonna help us.
So, getting the hardened spearmen right now, they are struggling at the moment. Now, Shuki, your voice is fading into obscurity. Bring it back to us.
I'm right here.
Guys, Shuki's microphone is his worst enemy at the moment.
Yeah, I don't want it because it's really not like that far. I'm like right here, but yes, I'm here. I'm here now.
It's okay. Welcome back. Now the knight is doing his best here. You can see, and he's doing a pretty good job at that. But the spearmen, they're now a little bit. They're looking like they're ready to fight back. The one singular knight trying to get some damage, but he will instead take a lot. He does make it out alive for now, I say, and every single time he turns around and I clench my butt a little bit and I'm like, oh my goodness. Villagers now fighting back, and this singular knight doing a lot of good work, just like the knight from the other side as well. Oh, never mind, there's backup. And it looks like Valdemar is purely focused on that. Myriad, though, he has gone to the other side. He's gotten himself a market. He has sold some food. So he definitely has gotten what he needs to for now to push this back. Myriad, even though he did lose a few manors here, he's still in an okay position. Valdemar Valdemar is probably pretty happy with that push, but he needs to keep the pressure up because Lancaster late game, we've all seen what it can do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're still far away from late game here, right? Valdemar has gotten some pretty decent damage there. He killed, 4 manors and 7 villages. So he's kind of managed to make the eco a bit more equal right now, and he's still going for it. I'm not actually sure if Myriad even managed to get the yeomans upgraded. Are these still feudal yeomans or are these?
Those are normal yeomans. Yeah, you can see usually with the 2 points there at the top. These are just the normal yeomans.
Wow, I've never seen that. That is insane. I've been playing this game for 3 years, and I've never noticed that the UI actually tells you what age they are. Okay.
I actually only found that out last week, so please don't worry. So you are not the problem here. I think there's a lot more to it. Now, this thing actually going down is going to make this quite hard for him because I don't think he has an answer to this right now. Myriad, he's getting more yeoman. He's finally getting his yeoman upgrade as well. But Voldemort, he's going castle. And when he does, these units are going to hit so much harder. We see another manor coming through. And Myriad is building that with a lot of units. Let's go look at that. Oof. High trade house. Being a pretty good tree spot here, I would say. A little bit exposed, but not exposed when you're the one pushing.
Yeah, I think he could have been probably a bit more greedy there. There's a spot behind that wood line that looks like he would have been even a bit more juicy, but maybe he just wants to get up as fast as possible. It's still gonna be really good because that landmark is just so good. It gives so much gold.
Now, this actually going down is probably the best case scenario for Voldemort, because now there's nothing that is actually holding him back from this, but this battering ram is doing the best of work. Finally, the yeomans do look like they are giving some angry eyes aimed straight at the battering ram, but he realizes he might need to fight this before the upgrades come in. But these upgrades, they come in pretty quickly.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the archer one is kind of slow. The knight one is pretty fast usually. But yeah, Myriad looks like he's trying to force an engagement before those upgrades come out, and Valdemar is just not giving it to him.
Voldemort running back at this moment is probably the strongest move he could have made, because he knows he's going to be up against these Castle Age units, and they're actually going to be pretty strong for this. And we know Myriad knows what's about to happen. He knows that there's some raiding coming, but he's not emotionally ready for it, I would say, because you can see those walls not being up, units not in position for them just yet, and Voldemort is keeping him engaged.
Yeah, this is still more eco damage from Voldemort, and yeah, I think Voldemort has a pretty good advantage in this game right now. He got a lot of damage done. He managed to get to castle. His units are upgraded now, so we'll have to see if he managed to snowball that advantage. But that was a really strong pressure from Voldemort there.
Now, these villagers do look like they have different plans, and apparently the plans are forward. The problem with forward plans is that there's an army on the rise, and they are looking feisty. It doesn't look like Myriad has any other option, though. This is not normal Old English where you can just sit back, relax, and get all the free farms behind your base. This is something that actually will take some damage if you put down a farm. It's going to delay you significantly. Lancaster Castle, very far away from being repaired, but he is desperate to get that thing back up. The knights, though, they are pretty chunky, and the villagers at the front, they are just the first victims to this big slaughter.
Yeah, this I think Voldemort is trying to end the game, and there's only one mana left for Myriad, and he lost 18 villages, so yeah, I think Voldemort is in a really good position right now.
He is probably just cooking a little bit harder there to the back, getting the rest of his army ready. We see +2 range defense coming in soon, and that Lancaster Castle is not up just yet. It looks like these boys are trying to pick off everything they can, but the knights are just running forward and engaging into everything. The spearmen now trying to poke through these archers to get the knights down, but it is such a hard fight to take.
Yeah, and we see the army value there. You know, it's almost 5,000 for Voldemort and only 2,000 for Myriad. So Myriad is really trying hard right now, but even if he managed to fix the Lancaster Castle, but you know, now that everybody's Castle Age, those with +2 defense, that castle doesn't do much more damage, and yeah, Myriad just taps out.
It does look like that one was not long for this world after he sorted them out. Match is complete, and Voldemort will move on to the next one. Now, guys, I did see on my stream I had the wrong category, so I guess we'll fix that.
What was the category? Just chatting?
I don't think that there was a category. This might be one of those instances where I just misclicked everything. So yeah.
Are we doing a hot tub stream or something?
A hot tub stream? Not yet, Shuki. We actually need to wait with that one a little bit. We're waiting for the actual hot tub.
So hot tub streams are coming. Chat, you heard it.
They're coming to the LAN. They're not coming to our daily entertainment. That would be a little bit wild.
No QT Corporation hot tub streams yet.
I don't think so. We might get them for Beastie, because Beastie is someone who I can potentially coerce into doing this, right? I can potentially get him. Just quickly get Age of Empires in there. So I can potentially coerce the man into doing a hot strap team or two. But I think for myself, it might be safer to not engage.
Yeah, that might be true. That might be a safe choice there.
Now, I wanted us to quickly look at the bracket here. And guys, let me just quickly switch over. Give me 1 second. Oh my god, my face! Where did I go? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna find myself. Wait.
Find your face.
Yes. There we go. I found myself. I'm tiny. Okay. So basically,
You're not tiny.
Yeah, not in real life. Not in real life,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
Woman
because
is pretty impressive,
oh
chat.
my goodness, yeah, she's very tall. She can. I'm actually
You can probably beat like 90% of chat at the arm wrestle, right?
Yes. Well, I beat Myriad, and I'm never gonna ever, lift that. For me, that was probably the highlight. No, beating a laser was definitely.
Was that the highlight of your career?
Yes. Yes, it was.
Of your pro gamer
Yes,
career?
Yes. I don't think I'm gonna top that ever, at all.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
That was a pretty good game. I remember that Dirty Burger. Anyway.
So we do have our boys on the bracket right here in front of us, and Voldemort now advancing means that he's gonna go up against Anatan Relash. We'll see who the victor is, but I'm gonna go for the fan favorite and say Anatan might be taking this one. So Voldemort has been beating people in the top 22 pretty consistently, but I don't think he's broken through that top 8, taking games off of them yet. What have you been seeing in Voldemort's performance recently, in your opinion? If you've been watching.
I mean, no, I mean, it looks like he's definitely improved, right? Because he qualified for the top 16 in the last major EGC tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that might have been his best performance yet.
Yeah.
I think it was. So yeah, and he's looking to be confirming this right now, still climbing up the ranks, and a pretty dominant series versus Myriad, to be honest.
Myriad, honestly, showing a little bit of teeth, in my opinion, as well. I'm actually really excited to see what Myriad brings to us in the future, but for now, he will be the caster at the LAN, so at least there's that, right?
Is he showing teeth or is he showing a jawline?
Ooh, that's a good choice. Putting on the British accent and putting up the jawline as well. Now, I am a little bit concerned here for the bracket, specifically for this weekend, though, because we did have Demu that forfeited as well. So, yeah, so Demu forfeiting caused a little bit of a stir, since this now affected the seeds. And that means that a lot of these players who would have maybe been in a different position have a lot harder of a matchup upcoming. So if we do look down at the bottom of that bracket, we see Ezra Starflock against Cat and Sass. So those are not usually the names I think that we've seen a lot in the top 4. So I don't think we've ever seen anyone in here. Maybe Cat has had a top 8 breakthrough in one of the smaller tournaments, but I'm a little bit worried here for that side of the bracket. There's going to be someone going through, but they're going to be faced off against most likely Wham, which is a pretty big opponent. So we have 2 players that qualify from this list. Shuki, what calls are you making?
Wait, what calls?
Yeah, what do you think?
He's going to qualify? From all of these players, I mean, Wham has to be obviously one of the favorites. Anatan, I mean, we have we have Wham, Anatan, Lucifer, and CSO. I guess are the main culprits here, right? Honestly, who's gonna? I mean, CSO was really impressive at the last tournament. You know, he finished top 4, so it's kind of hard to vote against him. Now, you know, maybe there's a bit of luck involved or whatever. We'll have to see if he can confirm. But it's kind of hard to go against that. Lucifron, you know, he left the game for a while. He hasn't been looking as strong as he used to, like a year or two ago.
Yes.
So it remains to be seen if he, you know, how much he's practicing and if he can get back in shape. Because obviously, as we know, you know, Lucifron, he's got like 20 years of pro gaming, maybe in his life already. He's been like one of the top players in the world in like so many RTS, and he's got a lot of tournament experience. So it's hard to obviously vote against him.
Lucifron, he's someone I think we should not count out, even though recent performance. Yeah, but go on. Who's next?
No, that's what I was going to say. And I mean, obviously, Anatan, you know, he used to be that up-and-coming player that everybody was like, oh, he's going to be the next good player. And now he's not really up-and-coming anymore. He's just there.
Up,
and he's just up, yeah. and so, yeah, I couldn't tell you, but I mean, the easy call would be Wham and Anatan, I guess. These are like, you know, the players that lately have performed the best. I guess that's the easy call. But yeah.
I really hope so.
I wouldn't know.
Because Anatan, I believe, already has his visa appointment. So if the man does not qualify, then it's going to be a very awkward visa application period for the man. So, yeah. I can definitely see Cat possibly making a little bit of an upset, because Cat is one of those players. He's just like a cat. They come out sneaking. One moment Cat is just like not breaking through the top 16, not winning a game. Then all of a sudden he beats everyone, and you're just like, where did this guy come from, and what is he doing? So I think a lot of people would not underestimate Cat, but we'll see if he can claw his way through and get there. Now, guys, I do want to go into the next game, but I'm currently trying to find the regions, because regions, unfortunately, is bugged, and
oh yeah,
it has been a
yeah. There's a lot of different versions of it, right? And it's been a bit of a struggle to actually get the games.
Exactly.
So I hope we can fix that.
So
but I believe in you. Your computer skills are unmatched.
I'm clicking all the buttons to actually find it. But if we don't get through there, we'll most likely just go right into game number 2, because the regions at this point, I feel like it's beaten all of us. We definitely need to make sure that all the players play their game on the right regions tomorrow. Otherwise, we're just gonna have the stream crashing nonstop. Imagine a map.
So what is the right region? What is the right regions then?
Red Bull Wolala regions. That's the one.
Okay.
So I'm going to try and load into this bad boy. And if it crashes... No, never mind. That's not the correct regions. I can see they're not playing the correct one. We're going to go into the next game. This is full on the next game. Numedan and Scatterbrained on Coastal Cliffs instead. Until regions gets a little fix, we are going to be stuck skipping regions for tonight. But it's okay. Yeah. Such is life.
I guess this is one of the issues with relying on custom maps so much for tournaments. I hope that the devs can, maybe give us
some consistent
a bit
maps?
of a stronger map choice for in the next patches, so we could hopefully use them more for tournaments.
Yes, no, I completely agree. I think we're getting to a point where regions may be impacting a lot more. And I do see that Morris asks, what happened to a laser? A laser is practicing for StarCraft. The EWC is happening, and that's the Esport World Championship. And he's trying to qualify for one of the spots. So he will most likely be back. We'll just hope that that's the case soon enough. So, I would like to go to just putting up the new title. Give me 1 second. And Shuki, are you ready to take the lead and carry us through the early stages of the game?
Yes, I am.
Oh my
Should I
goodness.
take the ASMR voice? No.
Oh,
Right?
please.
Probably not. Oh, I can do the French voice.
You can do the French
Ladies
voice.
and the gentlemen, welcome to another custard game on the map of the Coastal Cliff. In the color blue, you have Numudan in the top, and in the color yellow, we have Scatterbrained in the playing the HRE in the color yellow.
Now, I'm really happy that Scatterbrained actually went for the color yellow. I don't know, I can't do French accent on Devon. So, getting yellow on HRE just feels right. But blue on Numedan, I don't know, Chief. I feel like you took something from us here. Now, looking at the spawns though, I don't know. If I was Scatterbrained, I'd be a little bit mad. What is this?
Yeah, that's a bit of a lack of resources in the back there. It's literally everything forward. I mean, I guess the gold is in the on the left there, and I mean, you know, we're not gonna expect Roos to do some kind of a tower rushing shenanigans. And I guess, you know, Scatterbrain being HRE is not too scared about tower rushing anyway, because he's one of the chads of the Dark Age. But But yeah, this is again one of those matchups that we didn't really get to see for a long time, because Bruce and HRE were basically the two perma-ban civ, considered by most pro players are the two best civs in the game right now. So we'll have to see. I think HRE is probably a better civ than Bruce. I think they're just a bit more complete. You know, they're just strong all the time. So I would guess maybe a slight advantage to Scatterbrain there on the matchup. But I mean, this is kind of a, you know, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these saves anyway.
Yeah, the problem with getting Rus and HRE out in a draft, it's probably that they're usually considered to be pretty strong civs to take any W that comes their way. So these guys definitely happy with their picks, but now you're using one of your strongest civs against another strong civ, so it's not that free auto win that we would expect from them. Now, Scatterbrain doing a great job here at the deer pushing. We've been seeing this a lot more with players starting out, just getting the spearman in position. Because doing this, you're just securing the food. You don't need to think about pro scouts, and I mean, in this case, Numedan probably still thinking about pro scouts, but he's doing the same thing here, getting the deer as close as possible to the base, so that he doesn't need to worry about this a little bit later.
Yeah, it's just gonna help him get those scouts out. I mean, get the deer under his TC so much faster, right? Because the deer are already gonna be like so close by the time he actually gets the upgrade. And yeah, so it's you know, become a pretty strong play from the Roos. And on the other side, you know, HRE, as we said, is a civ that we haven't seen played. So, you know, there hasn't been like a very public meta yet that everybody's kind of adopted. And in my head, I think Pro Scout would still have been the way, but, you know, since he's going for the Dark Age Spears, I would imagine he's not going to follow up with a Pro Scout after this.
Yeah, HRE definitely don't need to go pro scouts the moment they get the deer this close to the base, but you want to find a way to deny the deer from your opponent, because Rus definitely still a civilization that relies on pro scouting, but like you said, with the spears, it does complicate things significantly. Now, we've seen a lot more Feudal Age Rus plays as well, so I would actually love to see him going for a little bit more of an aggressive playstyle, especially against a civ like HRE. Because right now, he's got 4 on gold. And usually 4 on gold tells us that HRE is cooking. And they could be cooking multiple things. Oh, never mind, he's pulled 2 off. He just got enough of the upgrades. He's calling it. He realizes. He's going to play in Feudal. Deny those deer.
Yeah, I imagine it looks to me like his game plan is going to be aggressive in Feudal to try and deny the Pro Scout. And I think it might get pretty scary for Numedan because, as we've said, HRE has such a strong eco in the early game, and they're able to just make so many units so fast. Yeah, we saw the Roos earlier. You know, having to fight against Lancaster. Lancaster is a bit slower than HRE. So yeah, I think it's not gonna be easy for Numedan to secure the second deer pack there.
Yeah, Numedan is gonna struggle if he doesn't... Yeah, I was gonna say if he doesn't make a building that actually handles these bad boys. But with the 3 spearmen, he's actually going for the burn. And honestly, pretty good call here, because this thing is not gonna take too long to take down, and it's keeping those scouts engaged and busy. And the archers now going to be joining the party soon. But this delays Numedan's age up quite a lot, because with Rus, you're usually in a pretty good position to like age up before your opponent has anything that he gets to say about it. But now Scatterbrain going and denying the deer too. Now this, again, pretty standard gameplay from pros right now, and we'll see what Numedan has in store here, but it does look like he wants to pro scout some of the aggressive deer as well.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the macro, you know, on Scatterbrain side, and he has 7 on gold right now. So it tells me he is looking for castle shenanigans, but at the same time, he still has so much on wood too. So I'm a bit perplexed by his macro right now. I'm not exactly sure what his plan is, but oh, okay. And
Yeah,
now
he's
pulls out
rerouted. He's rerouted.
Okay, so he's definitely going for castle. So he's just gonna make, you know, a little bit of units to be annoying and try and slow down the pro scout from the roost. But in theory, that shouldn't really slow him down too much, because yeah, he's just gonna be looking to get castle, and most likely get those relics, I imagine.
So once he gets castle, he's probably going to be at a good spot in terms of map control, because he's got enough units to keep his opponent busy and shut down the pro scouting. Because as we can see, these scouts have nothing pro about them. Right now, they're just freeloading scouts. So these scouts not working for their money, they absolutely can't do anything. Because one archer is not going to cut it, especially when you have this many horsemen as well. So Scatterbrain investing a significant amount into units, but it definitely looks like it will pay off.
Yeah, definitely. And as we can see, you know, that super strong HR eco, he has more units on the field right now, and he's already like almost castle age. So yeah, we can really see and kind of, you know, understand why HRE is banned so much in pro play. Because yeah, it's pretty insane.
The early game aggression is vital, and he executes it perfectly. Now, Numedan a little bit on the back foot here, and honestly, it's looking good for Scatterbrained. But Numedan still has enough food to get castle, and we can see that. He's almost castle right now. And we can see the guys, they're just picking up the deer, bringing it as close to the base as possible. He realizes, I'm not going to get much more, and getting one back, usually not worth it. But you do still have pretty safe deer that will spawn out of here. And as long as you can shut down HRE, maybe, just maybe, there is a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And in the end, he's clicking up actually faster. So yeah, also pretty impressive there. Now the military units are still much, you know, the military counts is still looking way better for Scatterbrain there, and they should get castle roughly at the same time in the end. But yeah, Numedan is really going to need to be making a lot of units if he wants to be denying those relics, because right now he doesn't have any map control.
Now, Scatterbrained, he is doing as much as he can with these units without letting them just stand still. But I want to point out, Numedan doesn't have gold right now. He's not out there on the map trying to get gold. And yes, he gets them from the deer, but it does run out after a while, and this is not going to be a great position forever. So him trying to get units out, horse archers instantly, he needs to find a way to get enough for upgrades too. But maybe he just plays it safe, gets more spearmen, and then makes horse archers. But he does need to get those spearmen into Castle Age as well to take on this very scary HRE army. Now Scatterbrain taking these guys a little bit further in, trying to get as much damage as they can. Monastery now coming out, and we do see the prelates starting to do work.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be looking to upgrade those spearmen, because he really doesn't have that much. But and you know, the Roos gold, they kind of just get it for free. They don't really care. So I imagine, he's still making spears. He's still making spears, so we'll see. But in my head, he's just gonna try and spam horse archers like they all do.
I'll just group
But
them together.
maybe Numedan has a different plan, and yeah, he's still making spears. He's got more in the queue now.
And making spears against this load of horsemen, you're probably the safest option for him as well. Now, we've seen Numedan have long games. I really want to see if Numedan can make this game a little bit shorter. It doesn't matter which way it goes, but I want to point out that the man is back on food, ladies and gentlemen. It does look like he'll be taking back a solid loot, and now Scatterbrain is still defending all the deer on his side, not wanting to give that up for free. But the food will eventually run out from HRE, and he's not ready for that transition just yet.
Yeah, and he got back on food, but his relic got absolutely yonked by Scatterbrain. As we can see, Scatterbrain has like 1 relic already home, and 2 on the way. 3 relics on the home now, and he stole all of the relics on Numedan's side. So it's looking like it might actually be a 5 relic game for HRE. Oof. Which is usually not what you want to be playing against.
It does look like he's able to shut down a singular one. And will he find the next? The scout is in position. Yes, he does spot it. And it looks like this relic will also be shut down. But 5 relics, that would be a little bit scary. And I don't think...
Yeah, that would be... That would be a destruction, but the military count is looking really good for Numedan right now. Actually, Scatterbrain really hasn't been making units for most of the Castle Age, it seems. So I'm not sure if he's trying to. There's no way he goes Imperial like this, right?
I feel like he might just be thinking about Imperial because he knows that Numedan is going to be having horse archers, right? He's seen the units already. So with horse archers, you do have the ability to hide in towers for most of it. But it doesn't feel like Scatterbrain has the food for this either. It's because the moment he hits Imperial, that's when things get a little hairy. You can see now, that's 1 more sheep on his board and that's it. Aside from that, he does do the food transition now, starting to make knights. Might have realized, okay, I should not... I say this, and then he's just floating more resources. This man is cooking something you and I do not understand. But with these towers getting reinforced, Shuki, I do think this man wants Imperial. I just don't know if he knows what this is going to cost him.
Yeah, this feels so greedy. Because he had the map control. He managed to get 5 relics like close to his home. So I don't know. It just feels to me like if he had invested a bit more in Castle Age, he would have been able to secure all of the relics, and maybe more food because now Numedan is kind of snacking on his own deer. But yeah, it looks like the man is just trying to get Imperial. I don't really see any other use for so many resources in the bank.
And you can see the wonderful world of Rus. Now finally, when the economy looks this good, he gets all the passive resources. He still hasn't touched gold, just like you said. He's gotten no military upgrades. Finally getting wheelbarrow at 13 minutes. He was very happy just letting those horse archers do the work and encourage the opponent to back off. But you can see now, this is a position of HRE where he's allowed himself to slow down. My question is Numedan allowing the slowdown? Because he's still making horse archers. He knows he cannot break through this, but he is going to try. We'll see if he tries to, or if he's able to find a little bit of damage in all of this.
Yeah, it's the problem with Scatterbrain's play is he basically ran out of food, and he's actually not really able to get to Imperial. And in the meantime, Numedan has so much food, he's still pumping units. So yeah, the more Scatterbrain waits to get Imperial, the scarier the push is going to be.
Now these horse archers are going to start getting annoying when they... Ooh, they've already got +1, but +1 range defense coming in too. Doesn't mean they're going to be diving under towers anytime soon, but it does mean that they are going to be a lot harder to raid. Or just having units out like this on the map is going to be close to impossible. Numedan now getting ahead with army significantly, and honestly, I don't think it's going to take him long to get to Imperial himself once he sees that HRE does it as well. Now the question is just, is he going to push right through when he sees that imp age up, or what is he going to do?
Yeah, I'm not sure because he's floating quite a lot too, right? So he could be just looking to go Imperial also, or it could just be that there's a lot of things happening and his macro is slipping up a bit. But it seems still pretty early for him to go Imperial. He only has 50 eco. Not exactly sure, but so we'll have to see what he does. And Scatterbrain is getting really close now.
Scatterbrain is getting all the upgrades. That was the most... It's so wild to see all these upgrades coming through.
Yeah.
He's thinking about Castle or Imperial, but he's thinking slowly. It's like upgrades, those are the most important thing a man can have. And HRE is going to get every bit of them. Now it's going to be time for the age up, but the problem is the moment he clicks this, what then? Is there going to be a raid? Are we going to be seeing HRE just sitting more and more in the base and hoping for better days? Numadon, he is the man in the driving seat right now, and he's decided that he's going to go for some sacred sites. The thing is, when he starts moving out onto the map, things are going to get harder and harder for Scatterbrain to push back. Even if he does get that landmark and starts printing villages, it takes a long while to really get going.
Yeah, Numudan, he's probably smelled the Imperial from a long time. He hasn't seen really any units coming from Scatterbrain, so he probably knows what's coming right now. And yeah, capping the sacred sites, is kind of like textbook what you should be doing, the way to punish an opponent that doesn't want to come out of his base. So yeah, he already has the timer going. There's already 8.5 minutes until sacred victory. And he already has a bunch of towers and everything. So this is going to be a hard retake, I think, for Scatterbrain.
Scatterbrain does float a lot of gold though, so getting a few Black Riders would probably not be the worst idea to get things going. But the problem is, with this amount of horse archers, I'm expecting them to actually struggle a little bit. We'll see if that is going to be a composition that we get to have fun watching. But he is getting 2 more prelates instead. Probably trying to get as much inspiration on these boys as possible. And now Numadon is very close to the age up himself. Now, I know my greedy ass would be placing a very spicy landmark in the middle of the map. But I feel like he's the kind of guy who would age up with a high armory, I say, as he's going to the middle of the map. And possibly...
I don't know.
Oh no. Is he going for the Spaskaya?
He's gonna do it. I think he's gonna do it.
In front of everyone. No, he gets the high armory.
Oh, maybe not. Okay.
Fake cast.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Ooh,
He's being a bit more cautious.
And aging up with 10 means he's not too much in a rush, but he also, he wants to get these out, but he's being responsible about it. Getting the keep down here is probably the thing that's going to keep him very much alive when those siege units start pumping out slowly. Now, the eco from Scatterbrain is going to skyrocket eventually, but I think with the siege that you get out of the high armory so soon, he's probably not going to be worried about that for too long. Now, Scatterbrain using every bit of resource he can and getting crossbows. That is the choice that he has today. Now, crossbows, they do pretty well against most units, but horse archers, those are going to be quite annoying to target fire down.
Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm interested to see what Numenor decides to upgrade here, because he kind of has a bit of everything right now. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what unit he's going to decide to make. I imagine he's gonna be making stealthy, because they all do. But then, what else? I don't know.
See, guys, Shuki doesn't want to associate himself with HRE and Rus by the pure fact that he's saying they all constantly, because he has honor. He is the kind of guy who goes fast in Mongols. So he doesn't want to be associated with the rest of us who would actually play these civilizations in a non-honorable way, right?
Yeah, but I mean, that's different. When you go fast in with Mongol, you don't decide the units to make. The game makes the units for you. So, I just go with whatever I get, right?
Okay, that does make it more honorable. You're right.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Maybe I coped a bit too much there, but
It's okay. Oh, we do see bombards though. Shuki, this is going to be a hard one because bombards, they kind of make quick work of HRE towers. And I think this is where most people run themselves into towers. And I say this looking at you very deeply in the eyes, saying how some people would usually suicide their units into HRE towers. Have you
Me?
ever heard
Never.
of this?
I've never done that.
Have you ever heard of this unit? I don't think you've ever made one of these, right?
No, I just make a cav and archer, and then I dive, and then whatever happens, happens.
Okay, no. You should have gotten more quick pals, right?
That is true. That is true. But it takes so long to go across the map. It's just such a waste of time. You know?
Yeah, you could be suiciding your horses into the towers instead.
Yeah, it's much faster. It's much faster.
Now, these bombards, getting out 3 of them is just going to make sure that he deals with these towers one shot at a time. And they're not going to be able to emergency repair themselves out of that. But the Sacred Site timer is at 4 minutes and 22 seconds. And that's why it's so critical. When you see a greedy goose HRE go for Imperial, that you actually shut them down by going for the Sacred Sites. Because they are very much not going to be able to break out of their base playing Farm Simulator. And that's exactly what's happening here. He does get elite army tactics. So that's going to mean that these units, they're going to be pretty good. But elite spearmen, we're going to need a lot of them to deal with all those archers on the other side.
Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of funny to see him go for so many crossbows, even though he's Imperial. But I guess why not? And you know that spearman crossbow composition is time tested. You know, played over and over again. It's just so strong. So it's just kind of a safe bet for him, right? And because I don't even know if he knows what Numidan is doing. Like what unit he's making.
Trying to find
Because
out.
he's been kind of stuck in his base. But yeah, there's only 3 minutes left until Sacred Victory. But that eco difference is starting to look pretty scary. There's what is it? It's a 40. Yeah, it's 40 difference right now. So alongside with the relics, it's pretty strong eco right now for Scatterbrain, and it's gonna be not easy to hold for Numidan.
The problem, I think, for Scatterbrained is that he is a little bit worried to move out here. He's max population. Numidan, not having enough production buildings to actually pump out those knights, even though he has the space and the resources for them. So for him, this has been very much a focused game of how do I keep these and how do I do it safely? Get a little bit of resources in the bank so that you can continually produce, but not overcommit. So now we do see a tower coming up, Scatterbrain making the slow move, most likely trying to get a little bit of presence and see the keep so he can try to snipe it down. But this is going to be a pretty hard push considering Scatterbrain is playing against Rus, right? And those are keeps. Keeps are not easy to handle. He's suiciding a few of these spearmen, trying to see what's going on. Like you said, he's been stuck in his base. This man has no idea what's going on. He just heard the bell.
Yeah, and actually, does he still have gold in his base? I'm not sure what that is on the left side of his base. Is that gold? Yeah, he still has a little bit, but okay, yeah. So he's basically out of gold right now. So he's gonna have to move out for that one. And this is going to be key because if Numidan has any chance to hold the HRE economy, it's going to be by making sure that he can't make any premium units or as little as possible, because you know we know HRE, we know the relics, and he already has enough passive gold anyway. But you know, 3 relics is really nice, but it's not enough to be spamming siege and crossbows and knights and you know all those really nice units. You kind of have to decide your battles.
And this is a pretty scary army to go into battle against, considering there's a keep supporting them as well. And now we see the bombards moving this way too. This is not a keep with emplacements though, so it won't fire as hard, but this is going to come down to actually microing. It does look like the Culverin took a little bit too much damage now, and there's a lot more bombards than there is Culverins. The crossbows doing work, but there's a lot of archers in this mix.
Yeah, that is scary. I mean, this is one of the good parts of you know, having a relatively weak eco, is that you get to have a giant army. So yeah, and right now he is just chewing through that HRE army, and there's only 30 seconds left. So I don't know where I'm at, but this is not looking too good for Scatterbrain.
Scatterbrain not gonna be telling the tale to anyone here. Those crossbows with only having, I was gonna say only having +1. Yes, just +1. They are not doing too much damage against all these knights, and the unit mass was just too much for Scatterbrain. Numidan actually making this a little bit of a quick game, I would say.
Yeah, Numidan kind of teaching me how to do it. Do not dive those stupid towers. Do not suicide all your army. Just camp in the middle and force them to come to you.
And he did a wonderful job at that. Very nice, Numidan. So, Numidan, and now I know we didn't get to see the first game on regions because of the map situation. So, right now, both of these players are 1-1 in all of this. So, these two boys fighting it out for that spot to play against, I believe, Wham. So it's definitely not an easy spot to get into. It's not a, oh, I made it, I'm through kind of situation. Now Numidan, I believe he's Swedish, so for him this is probably a very enticing location to try and qualify for as well.
Indeed. I mean, I do not know about international relationships between Sweden and Denmark, but I imagine they're very friendly.
I think they just meme each other. I think that's, it's, you
Yeah,
know
they
how we always
probably
meme
do.
the French in Europe? We're always like, oh,
Yeah.
what is one thing we all hate? And it's like, oh, the French. How do you
Do
feel
they all
about that
hate,
joke?
Denmark? I mean, I think it's more of a, you usually meme your neighbors, I think is the, kind of like the thing that happens. So definitely, being Belgian, we get memed on by the French and I meme the French. Though everybody memes the French, to be honest, but yeah, definitely. So I imagine, and I know that Demu, for example, being kind of like half Swedish, he loves to make fun of his friend Valdemar, the Danish boy. So yeah, I think Numidan is obviously hoping to qualify there. It would be pretty easy for him. Kind of feel like home.
The question is just if he's going to be able to take the king down, as I'm going to call him here, because honestly, Scatterbrain has been scattering brains all around, I don't know, every single map we've seen. This man has been cooking real good. Now, guys, I am going to be trying something out. Let's see if this thing works.
Do it.
Ah, it's lagging. No! I need to see what is the problem, but I think it's encoding too hard.
I mean, it works.
It worked. I hope you guys are enjoying all the frames per second as the encoder is doing its best. I think if I put the UI back on, it actually... No, never mind. That was not the fix.
No.
Never mind. We're going back into
Good slideshow,
just this
I
one.
like it.
Oh my goodness. We'll figure it out for tomorrow. This is why we test the new things on Friday. No.
A professional stream.
Yes, exactly.
But hey, look at those transitions. Those are beautiful transitions.
So we do see that Scatterbrain going for that dock makes a lot of sense. We've seen Aeobits on the water pretty early on. Let me just quickly switch these bad boys around so that they are on their respective sides. We also just need to flip the score, guys. So Scatterbrain is also now just snacking on the fish. But we've seen Zushi and their Zerg ability that they have on this map. And Numidan being a StarCraft player, I can see why he loves a good Zushi. The question is just, with Zushi, is it not worth it to go water? Or do you just pump them in Feudal? But, oof, I know
not
what's
exactly
happening.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the issues is, Ayubid is famous for having some pretty cheesy play on a hybrid where they can age up super, super fast. And so you can kind of get stuck, I think, if you greed out on water too much. So I think Numidan is probably being a bit careful there. And there is the second thing which I was gonna say, which is one of the reasons why people love sushi so much on this map is the central berry spot, which is absolutely disgusting to drop a meditation garden in.
It is. And that's why you have your reinforcements right here to try and shut this down. And he knows it's coming. Scatterbrained, he knows what's cooking. Numidan is going to need to be very quick, but these villagers are going to pull out those shivs. Maybe a little tower. Let's see if he's going to... Okay, he knows what's happening. He sees this.
I mean, he's gonna pull the boys. We're gonna be seeing the ships come out, and that's 4 versus 3. And I don't know about you, but I went to school a little bit, and I think 4 beats 3. I'm not sure.
No,
But I think Numidan is probably steering a little bit here.
And
And
he
he probably
lost.
lost some resource there. Maybe not too much, but
Now we can
yeah,
see
that's a bit of a monka.
the 4 villagers being idle from the side of Scatterbrain actually paid off now, because he's idle, but he's going to go build a dock, and these bad boys are going to go right onto the fish here. He's got 2 lakes, and I feel like Scatterbrain is probably pretty happy with how this went down. Now, a scout also being right-clicked onto moved into villagers. That's how you know the man is ready to cook. But he gets a pretty good meditation garden off here at the back.
Yeah, but this is it's a lot of wasted time, and that meditation garden compared to the other one is still kind of sad. I mean, it's still gonna be good, right? This is the kind of meditation garden you get on most maps, but the other one is just, I think it can get to like 160 resource a minute if you get lucky with the map gen. So so yeah, this is definitely a very good win for Scatterbrain there.
And Scatterbrained, he did, thinking of all the things that he had to do, probably lost a little bit of control in these villagers. They did a good job at being aggressive, but now they're called to go back to the safe fish. They did go on a little joyride here for a while, but at least they got to go back home. And now getting a double dock on this lake as well is just going to ensure that this is not going to be a problem for long. Now Numidan, he doesn't have the resources to get that first ship out just yet, but he will be able to do it soon.
A bit of missed macro. Looks like a bit of missed macro from Numidan. Just not able to make that fish right away. That ship right away, and yeah. So right now, if Scatterbrain manages to get control of that outer pond, he's going to be in a very, very good position. And I think, in theory, this matchup should be Sushi favorite because they're just so good. But yeah, right now Scatterbrain is kind of big braining Numidan here.
Now, with the amount of resources that Scatterbrain invested into the first pond, he's definitely going to see a good return. We see that second dock coming in as well. He has 1 military ship to shut down any incoming attacks. But over here, he hasn't invested much more. Now, this villager might be paying the price of his life, but it does look like that last hammer shot will come through.
Oof.
Disgusting.
Okay. So this is pretty good. Getting two ducks out is definitely gonna allow him to have a fighting chance for the duck, because I don't think Numidan has any chance to retake the other one. So right now they're just gonna be fighting for that one, and Scatterbrain also not really making anything right now. He seems like he's kind of lacking the resources. I'm not sure if he's trying to make any production building in his base, maybe. Yeah, he's gonna be he's making a stable, so probably desert traders, I imagine. Though versus Lugunu, actually that might be a bit of a bad idea, so maybe he's just gonna go horseman. But yeah, for now he's not really fighting making any fighting ships on the second pond.
Now, not getting any fighting ships might seem like a mistake, and getting the double dock here, people might be thinking, okay, but he just threw away this many resources. But Aobids, their docks are cheap, and putting down 2 docks, you're signaling to your opponent, hey, I'm going to be investing in this. So he got 2 docks, and he got an extra military ship out to try and deny this for the price of 1 dock in reality of it. So he's definitely happy,
Yeah, but now he just queued up 2 ships, so I'm not sure if I guess they're queued up in that pond, right?
No.
Yeah, so now he decides to start fighting for it.
Maybe. Oh, he's cooking something we were not emotionally prepped to snack on today, because oh my goodness, predictions completely off. I feel like maybe it was a misback row, maybe it was just a plan all along. This guy could have just been thinking, okay, he's going to think that I am making this, or I'm not investing anymore, that I just wanted to bait him. But actually, it wasn't a bait. There's more coming.
They baited us.
The bait of baits. And double demo ship coming in hot. And it will be connecting on top of fishing ships as well. The thing is, it comes from both sides.
What was that? I don't know who came out. I guess Scatterbrain's coming out on top of this, and I think if I remember well, Scatterbrain was in that team game tournament. He was playing the water maps because I think he's kind of renowned for his very good micro. And as I say that, he loses a ship, but yeah, this is actually I think pretty good position for Scatterbrain. That was a really good engagement right there.
Now, Numidan wants to not deal with this water shenanigans, and I want to point out he's stopped making boats again. But at the same time, Numidan is now investing into getting a ram to shut down these docks. So he does force some reactions, and they are very costly reactions. But Scatterbrained, he probably is cooking something above the ranks of what we know about, because this man is walling up everything. He's got a lot of wood. We don't know why. We don't know where it's going. It probably is just going into the water over here to make sure that this man has enough food. Now the ram, it does go for the other side though. So you might be able to take this pretty quickly.
Yeah, but he has another dock, you know. Actually, he has 3 docks, I think, on that pond. So I think he's not too worried about that. Oh, no, he has only 2 right now, but the other one is on the way. So I think he's not too worried about this for now. It's just making units at home. But this is still, you know, if you look at the eco, he is still a 9 eco ahead, which is pretty significant at this stage of the game.
Now, getting that far ahead with fishing ships is always really, really nice. But keeping in mind, you cannot overfish. And luckily for Scatterbrained, I say luckily, but this man probably has it all planned out. He's the king of water. Or not the king. He still needs to break down the crown of Vortex and Lucifron. But he's definitely showing us that he knows how to pull some shenanigans out here. And the shenanigans have been pulled. We see some horsemen out of absolutely nowhere. Because this is not something that Numidan expected. Numidan wasn't aware that something like this was making its rounds. Now these archers do need to be careful. We can see them shift-clicking on top of the spearmen. The horses trying to get us around now. They did get a hit on that ram as well. But the amount of horses just makes this pretty possible for him to clean up very well.
Yeah, that one spearman staying alive though is being really annoying. He does have that chip, but I think the fighting ship there is kind of hitting the ram instead. But yeah, it looks like he's just gonna be able to clean this up. So that pawn should be safe. He's even making yet another dock on the other side still. So yeah, he just keeps making docks. So for now he's okay. And what happened on the other pawn then? It looks like Numidan has managed to kind of secure that one. Yeah. So it looks like they're gonna be splitting the pawns. Which yeah, should mean that the attention is gonna turn fully on land right now.
Getting a little bit of a land prowess here is going to matter when you're also the civilization that usually gets to dictate, okay, when are we going castle? And I feel like Scatterbrained is in that position right now, just because he has that bigger amount of units and he also has some upgrades. And we do see the armies about to run into one another here. So, you know, he does need to be careful. But at the same time, we do have a raid happening at the bottom. And I am trying my best to get the screen up and running. Guys, we have picture.
Do it.
They're seeing some horses right now, Shuki. They're seeing the horses. But the horses have not found a target just yet.
I don't know if the... Oh, it's coming. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It is beautiful, Whammon.
Although they are just running. Those are just race horses, guys. They were actually not attack horses. But we'll keep an eye on them. The race horses are running hard. Now, this army is starting to look a little scary. Numidan now having a lot of Juganu. But Scatterbrained, he is floating some resources. And I'm kind of scared here for Numidan. Because once he hits that castle, this could be a lot scarier for him. Now, he does make 2 horsemen, but it seems like he's not queuing up anything else. We can see the food getting higher and higher. Would not be surprised to see a little forced drop-off coming from the ships here to try and get there, but he's taking it slow. Very responsible. So this push here is now going straight towards the dock, actually. And I don't think Numidan realizes this timing that Scatterbrain is forcing him into. He needs to do damage now.
I mean, I imagine he's sniffing it because he's just not really seeing much pressure on land. And I mean, Ayubit going castle is not, you know, too crazy either. It's they're kind of known for their castle age play. So yeah, but he goes with Mathsmith. Okay, he's bringing the spice.
Oh my goodness. Now, for those of you who've never seen this, like, I mean, I've never seen this in a ranked game because we don't even know this button exists. But you get free blacksmith upgrades, which is really nice to have, especially when you hit that age up instantly. Now, imagine this. You're hitting your age up. You don't have your units upgraded yet, but boy, do they take a lot of shots and do they hit hard, especially when you have an army against a bunch of Jugunus. And you guys know how hard it gets when those bad boys are actually getting shot with this amount. But if you have +2, they hit a lot more gently.
Yeah, definitely. And as we see, Scatterbrain is still making arches, which you know, I think if I was in Numidan's position right now, I would be expecting a ton of Camel Lancers to come my way very soon. And maybe he's just gonna, you know, try and go big brain there and kind of hope that Numidan overinvest in spears and just pump a lot of archers.
Now, what Numidan did here is actually quite sneaky. For those of you who didn't notice, he went and put his army one way, put the ram the other way, to make sure that the archership that was the singular archership that was engaged on this land had some other plans. Now, getting a few docks up, and this is just putting him in a pretty good position to retake this pond, but I think his time is limited. We see now the Bala. How do I say this, Shuki? Help.
I think it's Bagla.
Bagla. Bagla. So the Bagla.
I mean, my Arabic is not too great, to be honest.
Okay. Oh, never mind then. Oh, damn, guys.
I'm
I thought I brought
sorry.
Shuki here for the Arabic translation. But the
Yeah.
camel lances are about to be clicked up. Ooh, I say this, and there's a horseman in the queue. But we'll probably see an upgrade. Archer upgrade instantly coming through. We see those blacksmith upgrades coming through as well. So +2 ranged attack and ranged defense is definitely going to help against that Jugunu army. Now the archers getting their upgrade. We'll see who gets upgraded next. Not the horses, apparently, but the camel lancer does get queued up.
Yeah, and I mean that's a lot of archers that are gonna be upgraded. And I mean, as we can see, also Zushi is right behind on the castle age. So they're gonna be there very quick, and with the Montlu Academy, they could upgrade those Zugunu super quick. So I'm not sure how much of a timing Scatterbrain is gonna get here, but right now it's looking pretty good.
A few villagers also getting picked off is a pretty massive pickup, and the archers are now upgraded. He does go for the Jugunu upgrade, and we see 20 seconds. Actually, we are getting some supervision done. So the supervising is going to make this a lot quicker, but he needs to micro these spearmen perfectly. The problem is if he micros them backwards and impales the horsemen, he will lose the rest of the bad boys to the archers. So Jugunu trying their best, but this is a really scary amount of units. And remember how we said camel lancers would be a main composition here?
Yeah, see? This is what I said, that he was maybe, you know, kind of big braining him into over-investing in spears, expecting too many camels, and he's not making that many. But as we say that, he queues up 2 more. But yeah, this is I honestly, I'm not exactly sure who is ahead here, but those military numbers are pretty good for Scatterbrain, and he got complete map control again. And you remember those berries that they fought for in the middle? If there's one thing that those Arab civilizations love, is those berries. And yeah, if Ayubit is allowed to camp in the middle like this, they're gonna be very happy.
Because we can see now Numidan is out on deer, and even though it's a pretty safe deer, all things considered, it's not that safe when the army is coming from the same side. Now, he does have berries at the backs. Ooh, I would say berries, but that's just barely a little pie. You can make an apple pie right there, or berry pie, and a tiny little deer back. Oh, these deer are beautiful. Oh my goodness, look at those spots.
They are pretty. Look at it. I've never noticed the spots, actually.
Nice
They are
steps.
pretty.
But look at this, the deer they've been pushed off of the deer. And now Nest of Bees being built at the front is definitely going to be a little scary. He does rally it backwards so that it will get it out in a safe position. Nest of Bees going to try to make a good shot. It does get an okay one, but there's so many units at the front of his base.
Yeah, that's 60 versus 40. I think 60 is higher than 40, so 60
yes.
good. But yeah, really strong push from Scatterbrain there. Now the Nest of Bees are always pretty scary, but he manages to get on top with a couple of horsey boys, and no, still alive. It's still alive.
The villagers get chosen to also repair it. The problem is those army numbers are decreasing, and that's a lot of villagers just standing there. He's desperately trying to keep that thing alive, but where are the rest of the units? And as I'm saying this, I see the number of archers, 38, and there's just no way to actually shut this down. Pretty big number, actually. Shuki, I've got a maths degree. Let me tell you about 38 archers. Actually, it's much more than 3 crossbows. It's much more than 1 lancer can handle. So, big math, big numbers, and they do go down. Oh, and I've realized I still had my little picture-in-picture the whole time. So, guys, very professional. I'm practicing, okay?
It's okay. It's okay. There's usually 2 people to do this. Actually, there's 3 people to do this. Usually, there's 1 person casting and 2 person observing. You know.
Yeah,
and you're doing it alone. So chat, you should be impressed by your women's performance here.
Yeah, I'm practicing right now. I'm working real hard on clicking them buttons. Now, I
that APM coming in handy finally.
Yeah, my English main. I was farm transitioning, staying in my base all day, but trust me, I could micro a longbow all day long. You know, my favorite memories of AoE has been Yabo sniping me in English versus English on ladder. And then just...
Is that really your favorite memory? The English mirror?
Yes, I love English. I love English so much. Just the fact that you get to experience it at that level makes it so nice. But guys, we are on actually dry Arabia, the driest of the Arabias, and we are already seeing some shenanigans.
Yeah, more barracks opening. This has really become a you know, I didn't think that Lancaster would be a racks opening civilization when it came out. But I guess this is just the meta we're in right now.
I don't think anyone expected it, honestly, because it felt like they were a civilization that we would have seen with just booming and booming and booming and booming. And honestly, I feel like we could use a little bit more booming. Guys, I'm doing picture-in-picture. I'm not going to split screen that. My computer is dying when that input hits. So we are just picture-in-picturing this poor little scout, and we can see the hole that he brings back. Now, Numidan getting 2 sheep. On the other side, we have 3. So nothing too much to say this early in the game. Actually, I'm going to double speed both the picture-in-picture and main screen, guys. Look at those scouts run.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Look at that APM. Like, did English seriously teach you this? I don't
Yeah? Teaching me how to use 2 keyboards at the same time? Okay, we have to slow down, guys.
2 keyboards, 2 mouse.
Yeah. Now,
how many arms do you have?
All of them, Shuki. All of them. But we have some action, actually. Look at this. He's getting cooked.
You know, it's kind of funny that you know, we had the last patch was all about, you know, deer meta and you know, pro scout and scouts fighting scouts, and now we're just doing the same but with spears instead. I think it's kind of funny, to be honest.
We've come full circle. Isn't that all we could ask for?
I don't know if it's all we could ask for, but it's funny. It's a thing.
Numidan getting an extra spear as well pretty early on. We do see both of them investing in 3 total. Guys, I am aware the score is flipped. We will get that score unflipped for you in a moment. But Numidan is now thinking about the next stage. Now, Ottomans probably going to follow suit pretty soon. Lancaster, though, I feel like Lancaster's playstyle is interesting. Because with Ottomans, you want to be able to sit back and let your military schools do the talking. But we've seen a lot of Ottoman players just overwhelm their opponents. So Scatterbrain could easily also just deny what Lancaster loves to do. Because with 3 spearmen, he's going to be able to keep him busy at least when it comes to getting that stone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think Ottoman is still a really good feudal civilization, right? They still have a pretty strong push. So they could be he could decide to just try and play it kind of like Valdemar did in the last series and be very aggressive. So we'll have to see how Numidan decides to play this. We see the Lancaster castle being dropped on the stone. So I imagine that we're gonna be seeing some manners. I don't think this is gonna be some kind of 3D clan shenanigans where they go a no manners fast castle into a men at arm all in kind of thing.
So you're saying that Numidan is the more standard player among the 3D boys. Oh, instead of the 3D boys in this case. That makes sense. That makes sense.
I mean, the 3D boys are known for their spicy plays, right?
Definitely. They haven't been famous for any of the standard builds that have made it onto the ladder. I remember watching that one game of B, and he went behind. Let's say B was blue. B went behind his opponent's base and made barracks here.
Yeah,
Now-
I remember that. That was versus Marine Lord, I think.
Really? Oh my god, it was
Yeah, I
disgusting.
think-
And the
I
best
mean, he probably did that in other games, I imagine. But I remember a game versus Marine Lord where he tried that, and to be honest, it didn't end too good. It didn't end too good for him. Marine Lord kind of snuff it from a million years away.
I remember that too, yeah. The thing is, B, what he did is he put the barracks at the back here, and he still let the villager run right through the TC range. So,
Yeah, that was the game.
that was
That
dis-
was the game indeed.
But the barracks stayed up. Marine Lord was unknowing. He was just living his best life, trying to shut down the units that came out of nowhere, forgetting where they could be spawning from. Now, Numidan, though, getting this castle over here on 2 stones, it doesn't allow for you to sit back, relax, get under your woodland, be safe, because you're gonna get harassed by Ottomans. So, getting this stone is very valuable, but everything else is available for raiding. So, this could either pay off really well if Scatterbrain doesn't know how to punish it, or he is going to be very starved from resources.
Yeah, but this is it's a pretty good spawn, I feel, for Numidan, because you could just very easily wall this and have that gold be pretty much immune to raid. I guess the stone being in the front means that he has to drop the castle in the front, means that the manors are gonna be in the front. But I mean, it's still so hard to push.
Now, I have not seen this
What
yet.
the?
Is that a
Yeah,
pro
I did not
scout?
expect that.
A pro scout Ottomans? Well, it makes sense. You feel like, hey, there's gonna be a big thing I cannot break through. I might as well just get so much food that I overwhelm my opponent, and he begs me to stop. So, with that in mind, maybe he's cooking. Something we just don't understand yet. Double stable? Getting the first
I'm
one to
not sure
produce
if it's-
scouts?
No, go ahead, sorry.
No, I think he's gonna stop producing scouts mainly and get 1 or 2 Sipahis to just punish the eco that is very much exposed here at the back. If he's scouted, let's go see. Now he knows that there are opportunities at the back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm not sure if the Pro Scout is a adaptation that he decided to go after seeing how the beginning of the game went. Because it was kind of funny. They both made spears to secure the deer, and none of them ended up securing anything, and they killed everybody's deer. So I guess now, the Pro Scout kind of makes sense because all the deer is kind of free to get, right?
And Numidan is actually going for something we haven't seen, and that is 3 mana feudal in a while, because people have been going 6, and just being able to press that flippin' hell button and say muster, and all the boys muster, get into the base and start raiding. But now, there will be no mustering. There will be purely one thing, and that is yeoman. So he's gonna say yo man and snipe down everything he can, especially if he has a bunch of spears in this composition. Now, Ottomans is going for units. They're not going for the military schools, and getting those imams as well first. It means that you want to be aggressive, but 3 manners is responsible enough that you can make units and not be called greedy in this case.
Yeah, I guess definitely 3 minutes is pretty conservative these days, considering how Lancaster players have been playing the civilization. So yeah, I don't exactly know. I imagine that Scatterbrain, seeing that Numeran is not being too greedy, is probably not gonna try and be too aggressive either. But yeah, let's see what Numeran tries to do now, because he's making a good bunch of units.
With the amount of
I don't know if
units.
he must have scouted the Pro Scout, right? Like I'm not sure if he's seen it. He must have scouted it. 'Cause,
We'll find out in a moment. Let's see. Now he has no idea, because you would realistically see Numenon trying to move towards these deer packs. Right now, all the deer, they're dead, so you don't even know if your opponent is out there just eating the deer. So only having this limited vision doesn't give him any indication that, hey, I need to shut this down. The villagers, though, pushed off of wood for a moment here, but there are a few archers as well that will try and support this. But yeomen, as everyone knows, I hope, they're like longbows, and these guys will have a glorious time. He does know about the pro scouts now, though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the deer being completely gone from the map now tells him that it's happening. But yeah, I don't think he anticipated this, right? Because Ottoman going pro scout is not very common at all.
Now, when we see this happening, you know that a House of Lancaster boy is hungry. And being hungry as House of Lancaster is definitely not something I had on my bingo card today. The spearmen, though, they're trying to fight this village just standing idle. Those boys had their arrows and they only waited for their people to die. But see, this is the problem now. If you have killed all the deer, you don't know if your opponent is going out onto these. So for us Goldies and low conquerors, you guys all know, be careful of this. You might just get cooked anyway. But Scatterbrain's army is getting in position. And he has a pretty scary army, getting +1 range defense now, when +1 ranged attack is there. Definitely something you need to balance it out. But now, let's see if those imams are actually going to be worth their vizier point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously now the target for Scatterbrain is pretty clear, right? He has seen that his opponent is a bit struggling for food slightly. So for him, now that he has snagged all the deer on his side, it's a pretty easy target.
Now, he does pick up 1 or 2. The thing is just, they are easily going to get shut down now. And the problem is you have so many scouts, you want to be doing something with them. And at the same time, he's going to keep the army busy. Now, the yeomans, they are a little bit far out. The Spahi are going to get a beautiful connect onto the scout, unfortunately. Now, the archers trying to snipe down the spears, but there is so many yeomen. And the imams just don't have the numbers to heal, I would say. I think he needs a lot more archers to try and take this on. Because right now, Numedan is just going to be free to eat whatever he feels like.
Yeah, but it's just scary getting your imams out so far on the map, right? Because there's so many yeomans, and I think with these numbers, they probably just one-shot them. So it's considering you can't make any more, you gotta be really, really careful about how you micro.
Exactly. These boys are going to need to target fire what they need to get. But with the imams being, quite, I would say, pretty squishy, they're going to struggle against this composition. We see the archer numbers still not all there to one-shot those spearmen. So he does need a few more, and they are joining the party. Now, the nice thing about the Mechter, though, is when you get that range defense, I think it just changes the game completely against English. The thing is, just like you said, range defense, it doesn't matter much when there's so many yeomans.
Yeah, and we see that's I think that is the whole snap button that is being pressed on the left, right for Numeran. So the demi lances should be coming out. Yeah, that is the demi lances coming out. He only has 3 manas, so I think that's only gonna be 5 demi lances. Yeah, there it is.
But 5 is enough to turn the tides here.
Yeah, 5 is more than 0. I learned that in math.
So, especially when you don't have something that can actually handle those types of units. Oh my goodness, but see, every single time there's a move out of these yeomen, and this is, I think, what's going to be the difference for Numedan. If Numedan can keep this army together and not lose the yeomen by just moving out like this, then he's going to be fine. But when these Sapahis get just a few out of position, this is going to be a really tough one. The problem is now we have all of these horses. These demi-lancers are just waiting to get upgraded by the King's College, because if those things hit castle, they are going to break through this army. We see the Zapahis are trying to make a connection, but the archers do need to focus down. They do get a few spearmen. The Yeomans don't get anything to kill just yet. But it does look like Scatterbrained is going for a very aggressive push here. Now, a lot of these stables coming through as well now. So he's going to be able to make a lot of units in this as well. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a bunch of Hobblars, especially against this mass archer composition.
Yeah, it could be knights too, right? I'm not exactly. I mean, I think both Hobblars and because Scatterbrain right now is, you know, he has the classic Cav and Archer composition. So going knights into that or Hobblar would have been pretty good because they will counter everything. But yeah, so it looks like he's gonna be making a bit of knights. The Demi Lancers get auto upgraded with the Castle Age, so nice. That's totally balanced. And yeah, with Scatterbrain in the meantime, he's managed to kick him off of the deer, and now he's just snacking it for himself.
Now we do see that second Vizier point was spent on a little bit of extra food under the TC. So Scatterbrained, now not being in castle, obviously wants to think about going there himself. And we can see with the amount of boys that he has on food, it's something he's considering, but most of the food that he has is going to be spent on spearmen. Because when you are playing against a civilization that does pretty well against any horse, or that does pretty well against most of what you've got, you probably want to mix in some spearmen. And they are so good at just getting out horses at the speed of light. And considering he doesn't know what his opponent is going for too, right? Because this could be rugged terrain or boys just coming in at the speed of light, being built in 6 seconds or 8 seconds, and then you have to be ready for it. So spearmen, a very safe and happy bet, I would say.
Yeah, it feels like a pretty good call, right? Because those knights are gonna be pretty scary. He has nothing against it, so he's just playing it safe. But he's still gonna reach, you know, his castle already. So yeah, now he's pretty safe, and I honestly, again, I'm not exactly sure who's ahead because Scatterbrain is snacking on plenty of deer, but Numedan has some manners, and I think he's got the upgrade to get more manners now because the 3.16 shows on the UI, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's making more. Okay.
So getting all those manners out is going to be so crucial into just getting ahead, being able to stay back and get ahead. Because this is not the usual Ottomans we play against. This is an Ottomans that doesn't have military schools. So you're not fighting against a bunch of free units, you're actually just fighting against everything that's paid for. Now, with the amount of gold that this man has, he is going to need to think about what he's prioritizing here. So either Zapahis or archers, let's see what the choice is. Because 250 gold is not going to take you too far. Archers, it is, he says.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, now he has 60 on gold, so he will definitely upgrade the Sipahi at some point. You know, it's 21 Sipahi, he's still making more, so it looks like he's planning to make more. And I mean, those Sipahis are just so good. A lot of players are saying that they're just the best cav in the game, even. Yeah, and Numedan is trying to get back on the deer there, but there's just not that many left.
With the successful yoinks, as I'll say, he got here, he did a pretty good job at putting these out of position. Now, this is a pretty scary cav army, and we need to keep an eye on where those bad boys will go, because if they make a connection running all around the map, it's going to be quite dreadful for anyone who's the victim. But now, Numedan does have a pretty safe base. He's got a safe gold still in his base. He chooses to go for an outside one because most likely you will be denied off of the outside gold eventually. So you want to make sure that you do have some things in your base to secure yourself, at least for a little while.
Yeah, Numedan is now he has 6 manners. He's got 1 relic already home. And I see a bit of army going to that relic on the south there, so maybe he's gonna just yonk that one too. Yeah, Scatterbrain trying to get it, but that's not gonna happen.
That Imam and another poor little monk gonna be the victim of a Sipahi who just doesn't mind his own business. Poor guy trying to drag it away as far as possible, but now we have to think about whether these relics are going to play a pivotal role in this game. Because honestly, when you are playing House of Lancaster, going fast Imperial, you probably don't mind losing a little bit out on that. But Scatterbrain, this is the problem. Scatterbrain is nowhere close to being able to do significant damage to Numidan, right? So Numidan is edging up. And how is Scatterbrain going to be able to punish this?
I don't know. Yeah, that's just you know, it's a player that we've seen a lot in the last tournament. The fast Imperial from Lancaster, just skipping castle entirely, and because yeah, that Wingard Palace is kind of a mix between an eco and a military building, because obviously it produces military units, but at a discount. So it gives you yet another eco boost on top of all your manas already, and it's just so strong. And so yeah, we'll have to see what he decides to make from it. You know, we saw a Marine Lord in the tournament kind of famously spamming spears for 20 minutes and making pretty much only spears against Ottoman earlier. So maybe he's gonna be thinking about doing this. There is 30 archers on the other side though, so I don't know about how viable that's going to be. But yeah, this landmark is just really strong, and I don't think Scatterbrain is too happy seeing this.
Now Scatterbrain knows that he needs to strike now, because as we can see now, the upgrades are coming in. Now these horses, they are going to be pushing off of gold, but like I said, even if he gets pushed off here, he's going to be very happy going onto the back one. Because still fully equipped with all the gold that he needs in the land. Now, these towers, just delaying, making sure that he does get those upgrades that he needs. And the springles are pretty nice to have, especially in this composition. But now we do see these pumping out at the speed of light. So that's going to be a lot of almost free spearmen coming your way. Now they aren't upgraded just yet, but they will be joining the ranks of the upgrades pretty soon. Because with these spearmen, you are going to be able to fight off most of what your opponent has.
Definitely, but Scatterbrain is also still making sprinkles. You know, the 3D boys have been famous for their sprinkle play for a long time yet. And I imagine in the long term, he's probably thinking of just going Sipahi spears, Sipahi sprinkled. But yeah, this is a pretty strong army he has right now.
And he does have a way to break through these defenses. You know, I like the fact that Scatterbrain is just running up, breaking the wall, and making the villagers go idle. He's trying to signify, I'm gonna go in and actually do some damage, but not committing to it too hard. Now Numidan, though, he knows that his base is gonna struggle a little bit once the defenses get broken down, but he's letting that Wingard do the talking. We see a lot of spearmen here now, 46, and he's a little bit starved for resources, but for how long? Now, he does have the ability to go onto the other side for gold, but we can see he wants to be safe about it. He does go and get the stone so that he can most likely try and secure this with a keep as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that is the money shot upgrade that just got upgraded, right? I think,
Let's go see if we can click on the boys. Money shot. Ooh. Wait, are we on the right? Yes, we are. The money shot has not been selected. No.
No? Oh, it was... What upgrade was it then? It was not... Oh, okay. So, I don't know what upgrade he just reached. Oh, maybe it was one of the ones from the King College. I don't exactly know. To be honest, I'm an ethical Age of Empires player. I don't play House of Lancaster. So I do not know all of their upgrades by heart.
That's fine. That's fine. And if there's at least one of you that is honorable, then the rest of us can continue to do what we're doing. Now, honestly, after watching a few of these pro games, I feel like the way that I'm thinking about Lancaster is completely changing. I always just thought, okay, the Civ is very one-dimensional in the sense of you have to do one and one thing only, aka boom. But this is very clearly not the case. Oh, look at that beautiful placement by Scatterbrain. This is such a 3D thing to do. Such beautiful precision here. But the horses are going to try to find some damage now. Now, that's the thing. You have a very split army, so you have to be careful. Because if this army turns around and goes over here, they can pick these off. But the same goes for the horses. He's going to go straight for the manors. He should be able to get one or two of these. But the spearmen are going to be popping out from the back and doing significant damage. The upgrades come through, so they will be able to get out mostly alive. But a mana that does go down. I don't think that Numidan is the kind of man who would let his mana burn, but we'll check back in a few moments to see if I am wrong and have cursed the man. Okay, let me just put my screen on it so everyone can watch that. Yes. See if Whammon is wrong.
No, Whammon is not wrong. Never wrong. Okay, but so right now, you know, we kinda have a late game situation where both civilizations kind of got there without taking much damage. We see there's actually only one worker kill for the entire game, which is kind of crazy, to be honest. But yeah, House of Lancaster has 6 manors, I mean 5 right now, but I imagine he's going to be remaking them pretty soon. And this is, you know, where they're considered to be kind of busted right now, because with only, you know, 70, 80, 90 villages, they kind of have a full imperial economy, and so that means that they have so much space for a military population, and their trash units, which are, you know, basically just spear and archer, are both really good. So yeah, their late game is super strong. But on the other hand, we have Ottoman, which, you know, has famously been one of the very best late game civilizations too, mainly because of the dominance of their siege and Sipahi and Janissary composition. So I don't see any Janissary yet, but I'm not sure you really want to go Janissary versus Lancaster.
Especially not
Sipahi mass is scary.
The yeomans are gonna make your life hell if you go Janissary, Shiki. Those guys are gonna rain hell down from above, and even though they're very nice, Janissaries, they don't do too well against those types of attacks. But the horses, though, they did get their biology upgrades, so they're feeling a little bit more confident to run into the rest of this map. Now, there seems to be an attack here. This is a very dangerous attack for Scatterbrained to face, because Scatterbrained can lose a very big portion of his army by just splitting, and at the same time we have to consider that Numidan can just replace this in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, those are just spears. They're basically free at this point, right? I mean, I don't think Numidan has that big of a farm transition yet, but I mean, those manors are you know, giving his economy a really good boost already. But yeah, those spears, you know, in the late game, spears are they're just meant to be spammed, and you lose them, it's kind of whatever.
I just want to point out that there is actually just 10 farms. So I think this guy went for the beastie build, actually.
Oh,
Numidan.
Is that the 10 effing farms?
Yeah, these are the farms that Beastie made a song about. And guys, 10 farms. He's going for the build, but the thing is, these horses did not go for the ranged army, which is honestly, I think this could have been Scatterbrain's turning point in this composition, because you are now asking yourself, how do I break this guy? And the way to do that is to find a way to clean up this whole army. I say this and then I look at his base and I look at his resources and I'm like, oh yeah, actually, even if you clean up that army, you're probably still going to be stuck, because he does have a lot of resources and he can remax pretty quickly.
Yeah, they actually both have a pretty healthy bank. But I mean, Scatterbrain only has 6 on food right now. I'm actually not exactly sure where his villages are, or if that's a bug or whatever. Are they like all making a keep somewhere, or I'm not sure.
He's building himself some 10 farms as well.
Nice. And what's a military school situation actually? Because we unfortunately still don't have a UI for military school. Ooh, that's
We'll look at those military schools in a second. I just want to look at the dead bodies. We finally have some villager kills. Guys, do you see that? It's still in the single digits, but we got there. You got a few military schools. Yeah, I would like to look at the vizier points as well. Yeah, he did go for military school upgrade as well. He wants to make sure that they get faster units. So if the military school properly starts ticking, it could get a little scary. But at the same time, Numidan's inside the base, and these are the trash units you were yapping about earlier.
Yeah, he's just spamming them left and right and causing chaos, and it's just so annoying to deal with, right? Because he just doesn't care about Numidan has, you know, he really doesn't care if he loses them. It's whatever. They're basically free.
And he's going straight for the relics because this is the gold source that he's fighting against now. 3 relics and shutting them down. Pretty massive here. Especially now considering that 5 bonds also started getting upgraded. And this is now going to get cancelled. So this is again just causing Scatterbrain to have to use APM. You don't want to have to use at this point of the game. You want to be able to sit back and raid. And he's trying, but he's got 10 farms. There's a song about that. We know how good that is.
I think there's more farms are coming on the left there. But yeah, that is 10 farms and
24.
you're still floating food while spamming spearman is it's kind of beautiful. And he's got 9 manas too. It seems like he dropped the last 3 manas not too long ago. So his eco is just pumping right now. So it's going to be basically manas versus free units. Yeah, both of these is really good in the late game. So we're going to see who wins. What is the most busted late game civ in Age of Empires right now?
Now the problem is you're playing against Great Bombards, right? But Great Bombards, they are probably not gonna be too great against Elite Hobblars. So the Elite Hobblars, they should be very quick at getting on top of these Great Bombards, I say, but there's only one on the map for now, and he is at 200 pop. So these guys are locked between something they need to conquer first. But right now, ooh, we can see the Hobblars they have a target in mind. They probably won't get it this time, but never mind.
Oh yeah, but it's that charge. They have a bonus charge, you know. Did you see that siege, by the way?
Yes.
Do you see how much damage that put on the siege? Like just a charge from 5 units that cost like what? Are they like
90.
80 or 90 resources?
Yeah. It's disgusting.
It's kind of disgusting, to be honest. But yeah, the Hobbler is a great choice right now because he's, you know, they counter pretty much everything that the Scatterbrain has. I mean, they don't counter the Sipai technically, but they're both light calves, so they kind of just fight each other. But yeah, really good choice.
And the problem is Hobblars are really going to struggle getting taken down when they're so fast, and they have pretty good ranged armor in the scenario. So even with towers here at the back, you're going to struggle to shut them down properly. And we do see the army of Scatterbrained not really sure what they need to do. Now, we see with all the boys, they're moving straight forward into the Lancaster Castle, but this is an eco that's going to go idle, and reinforcements that will be cut off as well.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, it's actually pretty insane that both of these players have like 120 military pop right now. Like, these are basically FFA armies fighting each other.
And it looks like Scatterbrain also stopped with the villager production himself. So feeling confident enough with the units that he has, but the problem is this army gets replenished at a fraction of the cost and a fraction of the time. So when you go and dive, this is a very risky move. Now the Culverins, Rebaldequin's doing amazing work here with the boys, and they have a lot of armor.
Yeah, but he's got the Archer Master to deal with them, so it's gonna be okay. But this is actually the base trade of all base trades right now. Both players totally ignoring their own base and just going for it. I was kind of afraid we were gonna get some 1 hour game, but I don't think we are. I think something is gonna happen right now. Someone is gonna give.
Well,
and it
clearly,
looks he's just going for the landmark snipe.
Oh, and it seems the boys
Oh
have been
my god!
pulled.
We pulled the boys. It looks to me like Numidan is in a better spot to kill the landmarks right now.
Especially with having all these melee units, they're definitely going to have a great time. We see the villagers trying to repair. They're doing their best, but he does get clapped. And unfortunately, it will be a JJ.
Oh my god, what was that?
2-2. Wow. I'm actually pretty surprised.
Yeah, what an ending to a game. It was kind of funny. There was like no villager kill the entire game, and then both players lost like 60 villagers in the last minute or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then they just all got forced into one position, and I feel like the fact that we got our final map here as 4 lakes with 2 civilizations, I think people are gonna have a favorite on already. So you guys can see on my screen that this next map that we have that is struggling to load for me. Give me 1 second. It is kind of a pretty interesting situation here because this is Japan versus Order of the Dent. Now, Japan notoriously good on water, hybrid, and now apparently land maps as well. So this is going to be a lot harder, I think, for Numidan to take this, because Numidan is on Order of the Dragon. Is this a matchup that you've played before, Shuki, or is this something you've only seen in tournament games?
I think I've only seen in tournaments, and I'm trying to remember games, but I can't really see a game right now. But I mean, in my head, Japan is considered one of the, or at least was considered even the best civ, I think, on this map until they came out with a Knights Templar, which kind of blew the water balance away a little bit and kind of took over. OTD probably not considered like an S tier hybrid civilization, but definitely played, and one of the civs that the players like picking. So I think Scatterbrain is probably happy in the matchup, but this should be a good game because both players have a civ that can give them a fighting chance here, I think.
I feel like Numidan's the kind of guy who can pull something out of the hat, but Scatterbrain right now, after watching him play, I'm really impressed. I'm really excited to see what he will do in the future as well, because Scatterbrain, Numidan has been on the block. He comes in and out, he kills a few people, he takes down a few top players, and then he disappears again for a few months. But Scatterbrain has been constantly on the rise, and I think one of the first times we actually saw him shining was last year when we had that December tournament with Steel Series, where we had the team captain's draft, and Scatterbrain was actually doing pretty well for his first real appearance in an 8-tier tournament. And I'm really excited to see what Scatterbrain brings in the future as well. But now, guys, we have Numidan and Scatterbrain. Let's hop on in.
Can you do the French introduction?
Should I do the French introduction?
I don't know. You can do whatever you want.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Numidan. He is the best Swedish player, but I do not think that he will have a big match for Scatterbrain, because Scatterbrain, he was in my team, and we are the best. So yes, thank you guys. That was my reload, and thank you for coming to my French talk.
Thank you to my French talk. Okay. I mean, not bad. I can see you had a good French teacher there.
Thank you. I actually know him well because of his Mongol tower rushes, and I got inspired by it. So, look at this. He's going for the deer instantly because it's a house, right? So why not? And that is wonderful. Numidan does some proper scouting though. And both of these players will see there is a dock on the way. Bop, bop, bop. Oh, wait, wrong button. Bop.
What?
Sorry, I'm just making noises.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is she trying to say? Yeah, but I mean, docks on hybrid maps. Yes, this is I guess what you do.
Yes.
At least what we're not seeing on this map is a bunch of spears killing deers, because those deers they're very beautiful, as we saw earlier, and I'm actually a bit sad that we killed them so much now.
Really? You missed the age of deers being alive?
Yeah, I think I think they should. I don't know. Maybe make them like an uglier animal that we don't care about killing. Like, I don't know.
Okay, like what?
Make them like I don't know, like rats or spiders or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, we might have some rat and spider enjoyers in the chat. I don't wanna. But yeah, I guess you don't want to eat rats and spiders.
Probably not. That makes a lot of sense. Now, when we look at this matchup, I'm going to speed through the scouting stages and just talk about a little bit about the spawns that we're seeing here. Now, with Scatterbrained on Japanese, we didn't see dockage shenanigans, which we said that it makes sense. Your ships are cheap, you want to get that eco going, and you're playing against Order of the Dragon, and you don't want to take any chances with that. Now, I like the fact that Numidan is already going on wood, And this feels a little strange. Oh, it doesn't feel. Oh my god! My brain disconnected. It doesn't feel strange, guys. He needs to get ships constantly. But I've been seeing a lot of people commit to 3 ships, and then going for an aggressive playstyle, especially getting a dock onto your opponent's side. But again, with Order of the Dragon, you don't want to be taking any risks. And you don't want to be taking a lot of risks when you're playing against someone like Scatterbrained, who will most likely pull some weird stuff. And in this case, the weird stuff might just be a standard build, but the Cocker Township comes out, so very expected. Being built forward as well, so that Shinobi is going to have a good time going forward.
Yeah, that Cocker Township is obviously a standard play on those hybrid maps, because those Shinobis are just so good at being annoying and shutting down docks and even burning down stuff. So yeah, very good timing obviously here to put some pressure. But I'm actually surprised to see that Numedan is pretty close on the ego count there, while still being able to age up rather fast.
Now, Numedan is going to be fighting against something a little bit spicy, right? Because Japan went for the aggressive dock, and let me slow this bad boy down. So, with that aggressive dock, he's actually in a pretty good spot when it comes to, you know, forcing reaction. And that's exactly what we saw from these guys before. Scatterbrained knows how to force a reaction.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Again, you know, it kind of like last game. I'm not too sure if Scatterbrain is actually gonna try to make any ships from that dock, because as we see, that's 3 military ships already that Numedan is built, and I think they're all from that pond, because I don't think he has another pond anywhere or another dock in any other pond. So that is for just an investment of 150 wood for your dock. You're forcing 3 ships out, so it's definitely a trade that Scatterbrain is very happy, even if he is not actually putting any real pressure on the pond.
Now, I want to point out here that he's got 5 on gold as well. So having 5 on gold in this scenario tells us that he is thinking about something else. Sorry guys, there's a plane above my house apparently. And these 5 villagers, it's going to require a lot of food if you're going for the fast castle, but it does look like it could be a choice here. Now, the archer coming out from Numedan too, very important play. But the thing is, Scatterbrain had the same choice, or the same idea, and very spicy move here.
Yes, yeah, it's pretty rare to see actually Yumis being spammed like this along with the Shinobi. I think I don't really remember seeing this kind of play, but I mean it makes sense. You know, Yumis are so cheap; they're so easy to mass, and as he already has 13 of them, and he has 5 more in the queue. That is pretty insane, to be honest.
Especially on a map where you don't have a lot of resources to waste, it just feels like Scatterbrained is already putting Numedan in a position that he doesn't have an answer for. Yes.
Yeah, this is not looking good. You know, when your villagers are running around like this is you're just not really having a good time. And Scatterbrain is looking very good right now.
It does look like he's gonna Numedan's gonna need to commit to this tower. He pulls more villagers to try and get it up. And
that is basically his entire eco that's idle, trying to get that goal save so he can age up.
No.
And I mean, that age up was so greedy, not even tower to age up. I think he must have been expecting Scatterbrain to play it greedy and go castle himself, right?
Mm-hmm. And Scatterbrain is just showing us again that he is not one-dimensional. He can do anything. And I love that. I think Scatterbrain is showing us he's got the potential, and he's got the power, and he's got the prowess, and he's going from every single angle he can find. These guys being able to tickle a little bit at the front, a little bit at the side, and we see the boys just picking off on the wood line. It does look like Numedan just got out scattered. Scattering the ashes right now. Poor guy.
Okay, if you're gonna go with that, why not? But yeah. But yeah, I mean, Numedan is definitely not having a good time right now. His entire eco is just running around being idled. He does manage to get castle, and he's gonna get that beautiful burger palace out. I mean, he's gonna get it out maybe if he can. I don't know.
And
Well, this is looking so bad for Numidan right now.
this feels like me every single time I get a water map. I'm watching this and I'm relating to the gameplay. I'm telling myself, wow, this is what it's like. Oh, he moves the burger. Burger on the other side now. The thing is, if the burger comes out, he's not really going to have the resources to make any units from it either. So he might get 1 or 2, but what then? Your problem is definitely escalating here. Now, he does have a few of the villagers onto food, and he is going to try his best. We've got a few of the guys trying to overextend a little bit, trying to do more damage. Yumi now, 25 of them. And with 4 on gold, he's got choices. The choices are being met with upgrades, and he's going to be pushing. But the problem is just now with a burger, is he going to be able to kill these units? We also have 2 archers here, getting into safety, just trying not to get any more damage on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to get the burger out, but he only has 60 gold left. I mean, he has 2 men-at-arms in queue, but even if those men-at-arms are super chunky, that's still a lot of Yumi, and even at 1 damage a pop, it still should be able to do the trick. And the problem when you get so much idle time is that your opponent is actually able to kind of just match your castle age time if he wants, because your eco is just so inefficient, right? I mean, right now he's definitely not looking to go castle. He's making samurai, I think those are. Which they're not gonna counter the men-at-arms, but they're gonna be able to tank their damage at least, which is kind of all you want, I guess, at this point. And yeah, and Numidan's pain is definitely not over.
The problem is he's back to getting the wood. So Numidan finally able to get a little bit of wood here. 1 Yumi still fighting its heart out. And now the rest of the Yumis have changed direction as well. But now with 2 men-at-arms, 2 more on the way, he's going to try his best to shut this down. The villagers now going onto the other side for the wood. Numidan floating a lot of food because at this point you just don't have anything else you can go for. Yumi's again coming from the other side. 32 Yumi's total is making this almost impossible to shut down.
Yeah, this is looking so rough for Numidan. He's just not able to access any reason. I mean, he's got food from his spawn, but like, yeah, you can't even make horsemen because, you know, I mean, you don't have the production, but you just don't even have the wood. You can't even make spears because you need wood for spears too, right? And he's trying to make men-at-arms, but he cannot access gold. This is just really rough. But these men-at-arms are very tanky.
And he's been doing a really good job at actually shutting down one of these Yumi masses. The problem is, oh, he finally gets a market. He's like, I'm selling food, guys, actually. Probably the best move for him, because right now, that's all he's going to get. And the market coming up now, ramming away. He's just going to try to eat everything he can. But once the sheep run out, he is pretty much cooked in terms of resources.
Yeah, I mean, once he sells that food, he's gonna have a pretty decent bank to make a couple more men-at-arms. And if he can get, like, you know, 10 men-at-arms out or whatever, it's gonna start being quite annoying for Scatterbrain to deal with it. But Scatterbrain has just completely re-macroed. He's got 41 on food right now and almost 600 gold already. So his castle age is actually gonna be coming pretty soon.
Getting that amount is just telling us he is going to make a lot of units. And if he doesn't get more of them onto gold, he's most likely just going to make a lot of Yumis. Or horsemen in that case. Yumis would actually... The horsemen would be a pretty good composition here as well, because they're mobile, which these guys are lacking right now. And look at these Yumis. They're just trying to find more damage. And finally, a tower coming up. He's trying everything in his power to get this tower up and running. But these men-at-arms are trading pretty well. The army numbers are quite equal at the moment. But I feel like Scatterbrained has this... It's perfectly on his side at the moment. He's going to be able to pick up the relics from here. Behind this, possibly could have thought about getting that second lake as well. So...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, while he did manage to put a lot of pressure, that was also pretty costly for him, right? Because he invested everything he had into army to try and put pressure, and he did not invest anything into more eco. So eco-wise, he killed 5, but I not even sure he's even that far ahead. I don't think he has that many ships even on his own pond.
Yeah, if Numedan comes back from this, it would be quite miraculous because of how well Scatterbrain played. But this is, again, something that comes with tournament experience, right? So if you are someone who plays a lot of tournament games, and I know Numedan practices a lot with Beastie as well, it's not something that you're going to be able to know unless you've had those games in. And now Crossbow joining the party as well. He's able to pick these guys off one at a time. But again, constant raiding, constant idle time. The problem is just the army from Numedan's kind of scary. And look at this bad boy. He's standing all the way in the base, but he does see the Onamushas coming his way.
Yeah, Onamushas are gonna be obviously a pretty good counter versus the man-at-arms. We can see that Numedan is actually making a couple of crossbows, so I'm not sure if he was expecting if he's doing that because he was expecting the more normal knight, mounted samurai play. But yeah.
He predicted correctly, luckily for him, though. Because these Onamushas, those crossbows are going to do okay, I would say. But there's going to be a lot left to be desired. He can quickly switch over to some archers. You can see, this is a man who just wants to get some units out. And that's why the archery range is right under the chapel. Right now, he doesn't think about what's happening long term. He's thinking about what's happening right now, and I need to make it work. A lot of idle time coming in yet again. He's trying to get every bit of wood that he can, because this is going to be so important for him. With the men-at-arms, he's able to chase down quite a few units here. And we see some more blue dots over here.
Yeah, this looks so painful to play for Numedan. He's been running around for like the entire game. But, he's still not dead. It's still a game. As you can see, the scores are really, really close. So far, he's still fighting. But, I mean, that is so much idle time. Like, I would have been dead for like 10 minutes already.
Yes, both of us. We would have been that kid drowning. And I love the fact that we've mostly been looking at this singular base, because there's been so much action. And now with the prelate, he's healing up those very low villagers that he has, and trying to just keep them alive for longer. A lot more gold coming in, but now the boys are trying to engage. Onamushas not target firing instantly, and it's going to mean that these villages are going to be under siege, but the trading is going pretty well here for Numedan. We do see the men-at-arms actually doing some damage here at the back. They will be cleaned up pretty quickly, but this army will need to kite to actually get their value.
Yeah, this is the military numbers are looking very good for Numedan. Now, he does have quite a lot of military ships. There's 3 ships, so that's, I think, nine military pup. That is not really on the field, but it's still looking pretty good for him. I'm actually surprised he's not dead. I don't know how he did this.
The Numedan, I feel like, held on for dear life. This is probably the best hold I've seen in my life. He was able to commit to a few sides, but Scatterbrain had answers to all of them. I feel if Scatterbrain loses this, it would be probably a pretty massive upset in that regard. Numedan, though, he was the favorite coming into this. And that is just going to mean that it is a lot more difficult to get in and ahead into the next qualifier as well. But Scatterbrain showing us he wants it. And now with that men-at-arm composition we see, Scatterbrain is making the right units. He stopped making units completely. He's making sure that the Onamushas is his main army composition so that he can kite effectively.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we see now that Scatterbrain just dropped a dock on the other pond, so he's gonna be looking to finally expand his eco a little bit. But yeah, that's the problem, is he invested so much in eco, and while he did definitely get some damage done, it looks like it just really wasn't enough to get a commanding position. I mean, he's got a pretty good position, right?
Yeah.
But like, the game is still on, and I'm not even sure who's ahead at this point.
Oh no. Numedan being on 60 villagers, we can see the villager count being quite even, especially for Order of the Dragon. It's very surprising. But Numedan has the issue of running out of resources soon. So if we're looking at this one here, we see the gold is almost expired. And he does have 2 relics. Oh, the second one. Where's the second one? Where did you put him? So, he does have 2 relics, probably in the dock over there. But he is not in a position to transition out of this anytime soon. He's going to need to go out on a different goal. This one being pretty safe. But there's an army out there waiting. A very mobile army at that. While on the other side... Ooh, I mean, he could lose a few of these.
Yeah, but look at those military numbers. It's 73 versus 40. That is a very, very, very strong OTD army right there. And Nubadan seems to finally be pushing back.
Now, Nubadan pushing back, if he commits to this, he can possibly do some damage in the eco. But what he doesn't realize until he spots it now, he's going to see these bad boys. And the problem is, they've seen that the gold expired. So they're knowing that there's going to be some villages coming out of here. Now, getting into the tower, pretty good move here. But the problem is this arrow ship is not going to do enough to save the lives of these vills. And this is a massive pickup. That is a lot of dead villagers.
Yeah, that is so many dead vills. Yeah, Nubadan managed to only lose 5 villages the entire game, but that's actually kind of surprising that Scatterbrain is leaving these vills there. Yeah, he just decides to leave these vills alive.
He's sending a message, okay? That's all he's doing, just sending a good message. Now, these guys are gonna need to be careful, because with these crossbows, you can quickly snipe everything. And all of a sudden, Numadan's very scary army is getting me a little worried. Scatterbrain does have the reinforcements at the back, and he's probably going to be able to pick off a few units along the way if he decides to do so, yes. So he's going to be running into these, and these are going to be pretty big pickups, because even though the army looks so big, we can also see the army value. Numadan is ahead military-wise, but this can quickly turn if he gets caught out, because these units are really expensive.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, we can see how strong that Burgrave Palace is for the Order of the Dragon. Yeah? It's just he's just allowed to pump out so many units so fast, and our army is just scary along with the prelates there, giving a very nice little buff there. This is pretty scary for Scatterbrain actually. I don't think he was expecting to be in this position 10 minutes ago.
Definitely not. He probably felt like he was in control completely, but at the same time, I want you guys to notice, he's not taking unnecessary fights. He's ensuring he knows, I cannot read this right now. Let me see what I can do. So going around shutting down other units is probably your most important part, while you ensure that you're constantly producing. And he just got yoinked.
The relic yonk.
Big yoink coming through from Numadan. Yoink of the season.
Yoink. I just lost you a little bit there for 1 minute, but it seems like you're back.
Okay, same.
But yeah, that was a pretty rough yonk.
Now, he does snipe out one of those prelates, and all of a sudden, those mobile units are sniping everything. And the prelates are going down. They're sniping every single one of them. All of them going down, and all of a sudden, this army looks like it's made of paper.
Yeah, I mean, Scatterbrain just kind of managed to catch half of his army on one side of the base and the other half on the other side, and so he's able to get a really good engagement here.
And it shows the hard counters coming through now. With these crossbowmen, they were able to do work against most, but the Onimushas, they are there to kite. They are there to out DPS when you are split up. These crossbows need to be careful, because if he loses anything more, I think Scatterbrain will just be able to push right through. He's picked up a lot of villages. He's on that second lake, even though Numadan is on the other one as well. This is looking good for Scatterbrain now, because behind this, he's got the sacred sites. They are ticking. Pretty sad eyes. Oh no, am I losing?
Oh, where are you guys? Sorry, I lost you. I don't know. I lost you for like another minute. I don't know. I don't know if it's you or me.
Okay. Let's just say it's us, guys. It's us.
I don't know if I'm the one that's having problem or you're the one that's having problems. But,
okay, but we've got each other for the next while. It's okay. We got this, Shuki. If the stream's lagging, then we'll get the feedback and know. But guys, Scatterbrain's about to run into a treasure chest of kills. Dead villagers going to be scattered among the trees. And another one. And another one.
Yeah, that is another pretty good raid for Scatterbrain, and I mean the military is still looking pretty good for Numadan, but it's not looking as scary as it looked 5 minutes ago. This game is insane. I have no idea what's going on anymore. I thought Numadan was dead 10 minutes ago, then I thought that Scatterbrain was dead, and then now I don't know. I don't know.
I think with Numidan's problem approaching, as we can see, he is going to struggle shutting down these sacred sites. Because the units that he has in his army, we see now a Mangonel coming out, this is not going to do that great against the towers that are getting reinforced here. But we can see Scatterbrain feels very confident going into the rest of the map, and he might lose some boys here, but he's got boys of his own to try and snipe these down, so there has to be a lot of care in this push. And this is a 1-to-1 fight pretty soon.
Yeah, exactly. There's only 2 minutes left on the Sacred Site victory, which, I mean, I gotta say, when he capped that at the beginning of the game, he capped the site without getting the relics. And I was like, that, seems like a bit of a gamble. But, yeah, right now, Numadan has a lot of pressure to actually manage to decap. And the military numbers are actually looking more and more equal now.
Now, even though they're equal, we have to consider that these are also like a bunch of military units just firing back. And especially when they get to target all the squishy units. Now, he's building a ram as well. Probably the best move here for him, because getting a ram through here will be the only way he breaks through anything. But it's 1 minute and 20 seconds left, and this is going to be tough. Scatterbrained, he's hoping for that next spot, because he's up against Wham after this. But after this showcasing, he's probably feeling okay about that. We've got 2 rams here, a little bit of a UI bug, and a big push coming in hot.
Yeah, I think, when this series started, I think we both kind of thought that Numadan was considered to be the favorite here, because he's a bit more accomplished in the tournament scene that the Scatterbrain is, I think. But this has been an excellent series, and just as we can see by the 2-2 score, and this engagement is kind of going to decide everything.
Now the engagement looks like it's already decided with these Yumis. They are just target firing every crossbow. Looks like a few men-at-arms do make it through, but the problem is they're going to get one shot by the Onamushas the moment this has been cleaned up. The prelates trying their best to heal through this and inspire the warriors. And honestly, doing pretty decent at that. I was saying Numadan is going down, but no. And we see that ram stopping the Sacred Site timer for now. But the problem is the villages are in the vicinity and the towers are still fighting.
Yep, the military numbers are looking better and better for Numadan, but as you said, there's still a lot of towers to go through. And the Sacred Site victory is on 30 seconds now. I think Scatterbrain has this, but this is not a comfortable position at all. And he pulls the boys, so we're about to find out who is going to go to the next round right here, right now.
And with the villagers, he knows this is the only chance he has, but that's one village at a time getting picked off, and that's massive for Order of the Dragon. So the prelates are doing their best. Crossbows trying to fight what they can. Villagers got the shivs out. They want to fight back. The horses are going down, but the Onamushas are snacking on everything. The timer is paused, but just for now.
What a game! I mean, the last game also ended in a veil fight and a landmark snipe, and now we've got another crazy ending. These guys are definitely delivering right now.
They got the notes. We said that Numadan was like, oh yeah, I had 1 hour games last week. Let me give you guys a gift, and he gifted us the best type of gift. Thank you, Numadan.
Wow, that was a pretty insane ending again, and. Scatterbrain, after an insane game, putting so much pressure, and he finally is able to finish the game. That's wow, what a game! Like both players played really, really well there.
These boys gave it their all, but in the end, Scatterbrained with his name all over the screen, scattered. He has done it. Yeah, we had to implement some new scenes today, and we threw them all together, and now we're gonna see how to fix them up, and that's why we had to do a nice little test run. But because he's Scatterbrained, he gave his all. But let's go look at the bracket quickly and just see what's cooking. Do we feel like Scatterbrained has a shot on his side?
Versus Wham, he's playing right. It's Wham, right?
Most likely.
I mean, you know, Wham is one of the favorites to qualify. So obviously, I think if we have to go by heart or by past results, I think the Wham is overwhelming favorites here. But I mean, that was really strong showing from Scatterbrain, and I don't think it's gonna be easy at all for Wham.
So on the other side, though, we just have Lucifron and CSO, which I think, honestly, that's the problem here, right? We have all of these players at the top 4. They get to go to a double elimination bracket. So there is room for upsets, but it's supposed to be may the best player win, and may you show us that you're gonna win. So, all in all, I am really glad to see Scatterbrained making it all here, but Wham, he's going to need to fight his way through and then actually take down whoever is coming from the top. And I feel like the top has been a little bit of the death side of the bracket. So, tomorrow, I think Anatand and Voldemort will be facing off. So, I'm excited to see that one, though. Because Voldemort, the one moment, he's destroying people. The next moment, I feel like he's struggling against the top 12. So, yeah, we'll see what he can pull out. But guys, that's it. That's it for today. And tomorrow we'll be back at 4. So, for tomorrow, remember guys, there's another tournament happening. Lash is having a tournament with all the Germans. So, please go check it out at 2 p.m. CST. And did you catch that today, Shiki?
The German tournament? No, I did not actually, to be honest.
I actually thought that
I'm not too familiar with the German scene.
Shiki, you don't speak German, but you don't know the German scene? Oh, the German games were supposed to be a LAN as far as I remember, but unfortunately, we didn't get a LAN out of it. I was gonna say it does feel like it might be a little bit expensive to do so. So it makes sense, but yeah. So Shiki, tomorrow you will be cheering from the spectator bench, right?
I think I probably will be. I'm gonna be a chief Twitch chatter.
That's a very important role. But thank you so much for joining, Shiki. It was wonderful. When are you going to stream again, by the way? I can call you out right here, right now. Guys, Shiki was telling me how he was going to stream, and then he didn't stream for a while, and I'm still waiting for the stream to happen.
You know, I don't know. I have to think about it.
We need this.
I have to get back on the 1v1 grind.
What? There's team game players, only team game players as well. And they do wonderful. I think Magnavoss is one of them. He's a very common Chad who's been chatting all around. I'm just surprised. Yeah,
no, that is true. That is true. I could do that. I mean, I could stream my grind to a #1 ranked quick match 4v4 player, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Your quick match journey continues. Askelad asks, is it Shuki's stream now? Are we raiding over to him? Yes, actually, Shuki is gonna go.
What?
Bully the man! Bully the man. Oh, now
Please.
I'll send you guys over to Beastie. Thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys tomorrow here at 4 p.m. CST with the boys. I think me and Winston are casting on Sunday. But on Saturday, we do have the big boy chads, and I will be doing the production buttons. I'm gonna go fix the lag on my PC now, so wish me luck. So, thank you, Shiki.
Bye, women.
Twitch chat.
Bye, chat.